Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the ape army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hope for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep on more. You forgot we on the floor, blind 2 hours old. Lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the ape army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Yeah, crayon eating Lambo loving smooth brain, stupid ass. Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. FUD don't mean a thing. Water off a duck's back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding till it blue. Monkey magic coming through us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooder. And hell, we maybe woulda, but we more zen than the Buddha. The floor 6 figures ain't selling for less. You took on the ape nation and you're fucking with the best. We hope for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggle. Cause we just a couple of dummies in the rubble.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the ape army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Moon Gang, welcome back. I am so incredibly excited. It just feels like we're going to have an absolutely insane day. Moon Gang, strap up. There's going to be some hecticness, some insanity, some chaos. I hope you're ready to bask in it because it is going to be quite the day. We're going to fit an entire day and a half just in this one day alone. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have quite a bit to talk about, and I know I only have about 30 minutes to kind of give you the layout of how the day, like at least kind of the foundation of what you need to know of what's going on. First and foremost, what I see in some of the comments, it looks like some of our people who are maybe not in the US are a little bit confused about why the markets are opening up an hour later than normal. Daylight saving. So if you're in the US, I hope you enjoyed your extra hour of sleep over the weekend. But for everyone outside of the US that maybe is questioning why we do this thing, hey, we're questioning it too, but at least we got an extra hour of sleep. So that's nothing really has actually changed. It's just a US thing with daylight saving ending. All right, folks. Lots going on today. I am so incredibly excited. It's just, as you're about to see, there's so many signs that this is obviously just some crazy, insane simulation. And we happen to be living in one of the most fun timelines that you could possibly live in this, whatever we're going to call it. Man, wild things. Let's hop into it. Let me get some of the biggest things out of the way first. So numero uno, let's talk about the overall markets. Overall markets on Friday to close out the week, first week of November. S&P 500, Russell 2000, the NASDAQ 100 all hit brand new highs. Now, over the weekend, I was pointing out how our politicians were working late into the night. I mean, good thing that they're really just like, don't hurt your arm, patting yourself on the back there, like working till freaking 7 p.m. But they ended up passing the infrastructure bill, not the spending bill. That's a different one. The infrastructure bill first passed the Senate by a clear majority in August, and then it took forever and ever and ever, and it finally just passed the House, which means it's now going to the president to get signed. Now, with the infrastructure bill, there are some, of course, pork barrel attached to it because that's how our government works. They are unable to pass any cohesive thing at one time. They have to throw like the most random things into it possible, and I will be diving into that in a little bit. But one of the things I want to point out about this infrastructure bill, historically, when we see more money that can relate to roads and bridges and EV charging stations and that type of thing, you're going to see a nice benefit, usually in the overall market, but very particularly the Russell 2000. So with the passage of this, like I said, last week, all three of the major indices we talk about here hit new all-time highs. I'm not talking about COVID. I'm not talking about like some time frame. I'm talking about ever, folks. I am looking once again for the Russell 2000 to not only gap up to a new all-time high, but to hit another and just probably continue upward today, because the companies that are part of this overall basket, the Russell 2000, are most likely going to get this nice windfall of money from the government. So pay attention to that for the overall market. And now let's talk about crypto. Crypto crushing it. Crypto absolutely crushing it. Bitcoin now coming in at 1.2 trillion. Ethereum number 2 at 570 billion. Exciting stuff. Crypto higher and higher and higher. Bitcoin, I mean, I marked this out back on October 25th, I believe it was. It actually might have been October 22nd. I was like, okay, I think this is a buy. And at first I was wrong. At second I was wrong. At third I was wrong. But at fourth, hey, given enough time, old Matty boy was right there. I was just calling for the breakout of 64,000. And I strongly believe now that we've broken out and we are clearly holding, it's been about 12, 16 hours. I do believe we're at least going to see a test of the current all-time high. Bitcoin currently trading at 65.5. Also, Ethereum hit a new all-time high, 4,800. I've been beating the drum of Ethereum and utility coins for months now. Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, Algorand, so many money-making opportunities. I am most heavy into Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano. I do have some Algorand. I'm going to buy more, and I don't have any Avalanche, but I will be buying some of that. But not only from my initial investment, but also just from now the gains, Ethereum has become my largest crypto holding. For the longest time, it actually was Bitcoin. But with this recent run, it's just the percentage gains and what I have, like it's just been absolutely crushing it. One thing that you need to know about this when I talk about utility coins, remember, think about Bitcoin as a store of value. It is digital gold. So when we're talking about the markets right now, inflation, I mean, the expectations for October is the largest spike in CPI, consumer price index. Things are going up. Everything's more expensive. Gas, oil, bacon, sugar, coffee. If you can name it, it's more expensive. And with that, we're actually expecting that CPI, consumer price index, to go up more even in October when those numbers finally come out. So that's a strong argument for Bitcoin. It's a hedge against inflation. Well, you have a whole nother subset of different blockchains, utility, that give us NFTs, DeFi, dApps, all these things. And Ethereum is the leading one within that world. Right here, Ethereum, so Bitcoin, store of value, not really a utility coin, but then we have Ethereum. We have Solana coming in at number 4, Cardano coming in at number 6. This technology is beyond impressive, and I wholeheartedly believe that is the direction of technology for many years down the road. And apparently I'm not the only one. So this is very specific just to NFTs, non-fungible tokens. If you want to know what that's about, I have a video explaining that. Just search Matt Kohrs NFTs. But basically, it's that digital art. Right now, there are various types of NFTs, but most of them are backed by Ethereum. It does have the first mover advantage. There was a gigantic conference in New York over the past weekend. Some 5,500 tickets were sold, 3,000, that was the space. It was huge. It was a huge conference. And this is the one thing I just wanted to bring up. So shout out if you actually went there. I'm sure someone listening here ended up in New York to listen to that. Very cool stuff. But you just see NFTs are here to stay. Crypto's here to stay. Blockchain technology is here to stay. I'm very excited about the future of all of this. Newer blockchains such as Flow, that's what the NBA Top Shots are built on. Avalanche, that's the one I brought up that I want to buy, and Solana, and now are competing to offer lower price transfers and attracting more NFT action. So right here, one of the biggest issues with Ethereum is it's a little bit slow, but really the fees are incredible. The gas fees, that's what you pay to do any of really the actions on the Ethereum blockchain. It's very, very costly. So that's starting to turn some people off. So you have something like Solana that's cheaper, and it can also do more transactions. So you have Ethereum in the realm of 15 to 45-ish transactions, and then Solana for that same block is going to do 50,000. So it's Ethereum, it's the king right here. It is currently the king, and things will be improved when it rolls out with Ethereum 2.0. But in the meantime, from a technology standpoint, there are very other interesting competitors such as Solana, Cardano, Avalanche. I don't have Flow. I'm a little bit more biased to the other ones I listed, but overall, huge fan of it. Very exciting to see where this is going. And speaking of technology, one thing I just wanted to bring up is interoperability. This word's a mouthful for sure, but what it means is that basically very distinct blockchains. So you're talking about something like Solana and Polkadot actually being able to talk with each other, because right now with that first mover advantage of Ethereum, all these NFTs are built on Ethereum. That's the blockchain. But technology is going in a way that people are starting to care about interoperability, which allows different blockchains to actually interact with each other. So like I said, Solana, Polkadot, Cardano is definitely making that a main aspect of their blockchain. So pretty cool. And of course, I don't want to go on too far with this, but don't forget about the metaverse. Don't forget about NFTs. NFT marketplace makes me still very, very excited about GameStop and where GameStop's headed. In fact, if it properly makes its debut into the world of crypto with this, I think it could vastly overtake just even its game revenue, like its game reselling revenue. I think there's that much potential in the world of NFTs and specifically crypto in a more general sense. But I do want to talk about one thing that got snuck in with this infrastructure bill. So remember, infrastructure bill, we have things like Caterpillar doing really well, IWM looking to go higher. It came in at 1.2 trillion, and it's been discussed for quite a while now, right here, 550 million in new funding into transportation, broadband, and utilities. So look at IWM, look at things such as Caterpillar, all should be doing pretty well today. But like I was alluding to before, they always like to sneak things in. It's pork barrel, it's how US politics are done, and it is incredibly upsetting. House sends infrastructure bill with crypto tax provision to US president. This is just one of the weird provisions that people are starting to point out that you're like, what? Why? Like, what? How does this make sense? Let me just give you the high details. The U.S. House of Representatives voted to pass a bipartisan infrastructure bill that contains a controversial crypto tax reporting requirement. The Senate originally passed this back in August, and obviously the House just passed it, and it's on the desk of the president probably as early as today, waiting for his signature. The reporting requirement would see brokers report transactions under the current tax code. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Industry proponents worried that the definition would be too broad, capturing entities like miners and other parties that don't actually facilitate transactions. The law, written nearly 40 years ago, hey, that makes sense because, let's use a law from 4 decades ago that's going to talk to a technology that's really getting like full steam ahead now. Apply to in-person cash transactions over 10,000 essentially requires recipients to verify the sender's personal information and record their social security number, the nature of the transaction, and other information, and report the transaction to the government within 15 days. Now, this is where I can feel my hair start to go gray. So right here, me, if you're dealing with NFTs, with crypto, if you do anything over 10K, apparently you're now going to have to report this transaction to the government within 15 days. You know what I find particularly funny about this is, according to the Stock Act written in 2012, it's supposed to stop government officials from insider trading, which we obviously know it doesn't, because right now Pelosi's outperforming the overall market to a degree that you don't even want to look at because it's going to make you disgusted. They have 45 days to report, according to the Stock Act. And then when it actually goes public on the database, that's another 45 days. So our government officials, from the time they do something until we see it as the public, there's technically a 90-day window. But you and me, oh man. If you buy an NFT and you make some money and it's over 10K, you have 15 days, or check this out, a felony. A felony. Unlike other tax code violations, violations of this rule are a felony, and some lawyers have pointed out that applied to cryptocurrencies and other digital assets like NFTs, the law could be nearly impossible to comply with. So we're in this situation where if you make some money on crypto because you took a bet on technology and it panned out well, if you don't report that, if this becomes a law, in 15 days, that's a felony. Our government, on the other hand, basically has a 90-day window until theirs come out, and they commonly break that. And what happens when they break it? Absolutely nothing. Why? Because remember, the people who enforce that, the SEC, who pays the SEC? Our government. Their funding comes from Congress. You think they're really going to bite the hand that feeds them? It's absolute lunacy. What is going on with all this? And just so you know, the Treasury Department still has to explain how it plans to interpret the bill and publish guidance spelling out how businesses and other entities will have to comply with it. So to wrap this all up, government, once again, proving to its utmost ability how big of a piece of shit it can actually be. Moving on. Tesla slides 5% after Musk proposes sale of 10% of his stock. I'm going to be talking about this, but let me just circle back to it. On the COVID front, Regeneron's COVID antibody therapy shows long-term protection. Hey, that's cool. I like that. If you want to check this company out, something to speak about. Appeals court freezes Biden mandate U.S. lifts travel restrictions. So as of today, November 8th, international travel is now easier. We're finally getting some of these restrictions lifted for, I guess, what's considered to be non-essential travel. But one thing also on the front that I want to talk about is, so there was a mandate that I believe a company, if your company has over 100 people, that the vaccine was mandated. Well, that rule is now actually going to be held up in the federal appeals court. And it's kind of interesting. So the judges from the court talked about this mandate, and I have the quote right here, grave statutory and constitutional issues with mandate. So the judges actually having quite a few issues with the mandate. Obviously, I'll keep you updated on it. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawmaker. I'm not a scientist. This is not my domain. My domain is to express to you what's going on, not to tell you what's right, what's wrong. It's more of to interpret it through the lens of the stock market and what will or won't be impacted. I want to bring this up because if it's not mandated, the companies who are making a lot of money off of these shots, such as Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, obviously, if it's not mandated, I don't think that's going to be a benefit to the stock. So I'm looking at it more through the lens of the companies that like this is going to impact rather than the social, political, scientific implications of what is being said here, just so we're all on the same page. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about Elon Musk, or AKA for the day, maybe the week, known as Lord Edge. So on November 6th, much is made lately of unrealized gains being a means of tax avoidance, so I propose selling 10% of my Tesla stock. Do you support this? 3.5 million people have voted, and it's roughly 58% yes, 42% no. And if I'm being completely honest with all of you, I don't think this has anything to actually do with it whatsoever. And I'm going to explain what's going on, but from obvious, like a very obvious thing, Tesla just hit a new all-time high. Talking about its valuation right now is very, very lofty. So even if he wants to lock it in and he's doing it under the kind of this, I don't know, almost like smoke screen here of like, hey, like I hear people are mad that billionaires aren't paying. Should I pay some? And 10%, I believe that's about 2% of the company. We're talking about 17 million shares, which would also be about $21 billion, which could come up to about 6.7 billion going to the government, which, I mean, I don't think I've been like kind of secretive about these feelings, but I just don't think the government's good at spending our money. Like, I would rather the money in hands of people who can use money efficiently rather than absolutely piss it away. But I really don't think this has anything to do with him of like, oh, okay, I'm going to hit back about this like billionaires tax thing. And I'll be explaining all that in a second. But hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious. So Ron here, just so you know who he is, U.S. Senator from Oregon, Senate Finance Chairman. So he quote tweets it Whether or not the world's wealthiest man pays any taxes at all shouldn't depend on the results of a Twitter poll. It's time for billionaires' income tax. This is where the internet broke yesterday. Elon, aka Lord Edge, responded, "Why does your pee-pee look like you just came?" This happened. A man worth over $300 billion responded to the Senate Finance Chairman, "Why does your pee-pee look like you just came?" This happened, folks. This absolutely 100% happened. It's insane. And he's from Trollheim now. He changed his location. He's obviously just trolling him. He completely annihilated him. The humor in that, it's so wild. He should have his own stand-up special. I feel like Netflix should just be going through Elon's tweets and just screenshotting them and play them, I don't know, in some music in the background, and we'll just read this. This is so wild. The world's richest person running a top 5, sometimes like a top 3 company with many other companies, huge amounts of influence, basically just told a senator, a very powerful senator, to F off. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So my thoughts on this in general of, like I said, coming back to the start of it, tax avoidance, this billionaire's income tax. The billionaire's income tax referring to taxing unrealized gains, I think it's one of the dumbest things possible. I truly do. I'm not here to stand up for billionaires. I think they can stand up for themselves. It's just there's no point in history where they've levied a new tax and they're like, okay, cool, we got the money we need, we're going to stop it. I would bet any amount of money in the world, if they start this unrealized gain tax, it will trickle down to everyone. It might take a couple of years. It might take a couple political cycles, but I guarantee that it will be extended to everyone within the US all of a sudden. So it's more of, do I care about this billionaire thing particularly? No, not really. I mean, we just passed a $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. We're talking about a 1.75, 1.85 trillion spending bill. Is 6.7 billion in taxes really going to move the needle on that? But anyway, before we get into that, I'm saying you can't give them this inch because they're going to take the entire mile. I swear, if you give them enough time, they will tax everyone who has unrealized gains. And really, I'm just hoping that Pelosi's one that stands up in front of this and says, no way, I have too much unrealized gains. I can't be paying that stuff. So maybe she'll come through with us. But anyway, I think there's a little bit more going on in the background here. So first of all, right here on November 5th, on Friday, his brother, Kimball Musk, sold quite a bit. This is the SEC filing, and you could check this out here, right here. Kimball Musk, he sold $108 million worth, 88,000 shares. So something else is going on. So you see his brother selling a bunch of stock. Then you see him trying to figure out some sort of narrative where it's acceptable. He's like, hey, yeah, Twitter told me to sell. I guess I gotta sell. So you do see some very, very interesting developments there. His brother's selling. He's obviously strategizing of where he could sell, but he doesn't really lose his for the people type of a persona. And when I really think about it, at first I was like, okay, he knows it's overvalued. He knows his company is overvalued, so he's trying to lock in some money. Maybe he's waiting for some form of a sell-off where he could buy back more. Maybe he's trying to convert the money into another asset, such as Bitcoin. We know he's a big crypto fan. That was the theory of Meet Kevin. He was tweeting about it. That's an interesting one. Actually, when the stream started today, I saw a new theory come in. Elon Musk faces a $15 billion tax bill, which is likely the real reason why he's selling stock. Elon Musk faces a tax bill of more than $15 billion in the coming months on stock options. Musk asked his 63 million Twitter followers over the weekend whether he should sell 10% of his Tesla holdings. The looming tax bill makes a sale of Tesla stock this year likely regardless of the outcome of the Twitter vote. So I do think there's secondary reasons to this. I don't think he's like legitimately just going through on Twitter and being like, hey, I heard about this billionaire tax thing. Whatever the real reason is, at least it gave us a moment of comedy. As you can see with Tesla today, it's down. It's It closed out on Friday at 1,222. We're right now at 1,160. Obviously a gap down. I'm seeing some notable support between 1,000 and 1,080. I think it's a real chance that Tesla could get there. But in that occurrence, remember, it's now gapping down, and there's always that statistical edge to a gap fill play. We just have to wait for buyers to actually show up. Might happen today, might happen next week, might happen in a month, or maybe even more time, but there is a statistical advantage to playing a gap fill. We need to talk about some earnings, other big movers. So today, before the market open, COTY, I believe that's a makeup one. And then after the market closes today, PayPal, Roblox, Lemonade, that's an insurance one, Virgin Galactic, Smile Direct Club. But I know a lot of you listening right now, you care about AMC. And of course, we will be talking about that. But just so you know, tomorrow before the market opens, Palantir, Workhorse. After the market closes, Coinbase got moved from last week to this week. So it's Neo, Coinbase, and Win. If you are watching kind of the gambling sector, I know there's been some movement with DraftKings and Penn National Gaming. SoFi on Wednesday, Wish, Affirm. I know people are talking about that. Beyond Me, Prague, PROG. I know a lot of you listening care about Prague, so that's after the market closes on Wednesday. And I believe those are all the main ones. But for today, particularly, we got to talk about AMC. AMC is reporting its Q3 earnings after the market closes. The report, the announcement, it all comes out at 5 p.m. ET. I will be streaming it from this channel. If you want to hear it live and my breakdown of it after, this is the place for you to be. And just so you know, in case you cannot make that live stream, here are the expectations from NASDAQ. Wall Street expects AMC to lose 53 cents per share on a revenue of $717 million. This compares to the year ago quarter when it lost $570 per share on a revenue of $120 million. Obviously, this is a tenth of the loss, and we're almost, 6.5xing the revenue. For the full year ending in January, the loss is projected to be $281 per share compared to a loss of $39 a year ago, while full year revenue is projected to rise 93.3% year over year to $2.4 billion. So what you need to going into this, the two key numbers are right here. We are looking to beat this. We want either to be in profit, which I think the chances of that are pretty low, but maybe a narrower than expected loss. So they're expecting a 53 cent loss per share. We want that to be a smaller number, closer to zero, closer to the positive range. And we also want a revenue hopefully exceeding $717 million. So those are like just the pure numbers. But beyond that, if they can give us any idea of where their liquidity's at, at the end of Q2, we knew they had 1.81 billion in cash, and then with their revolving credit was up to 2 billion in liquidity. Did they increase it? Did they decrease it? Are they buying more? There is kind of rumors through the grapevine that there's going to be some sort of big announcement. So those are the key numbers you care about, but also you have to get the gist of their guidance. Like, what are they talking about coming forward? So for example, just this past weekend, Eternals came in. It didn't do as well as people expected it to, but it was still a top 4 pandemic era movie release. It took in 71 million over the weekend. I haven't seen Eternals yet. I just didn't have the time. I will be watching it, obviously. But with Marvel, they're killing it. They have all these other movies. We see that Cinemark did really well. I am definitely expecting a beat, and these are the specific numbers we're listening to. But beyond that, you have to listen to the verbiage that they choose to use, expressing their guidance moving forward. But for all that, once again, 5 p.m. ET. Today, I will be streaming it. So I'm doing this stream. We'll have the Power Hour stream. We'll take a little break. And then we're going to do a special Q3 AMC earnings announcement stream starting right before, like 15 minutes before. I just wanted to bring this up because this is from NASDAQ's official website. I just thought this was really interesting. The company has executed in a manner that now eliminates any prior thoughts of bankruptcy, suggesting AMC is now more than just a meme stock. That might just seem small because like a lot of us, we're on the same page with that. Like the meme thing, it's a little bit more of a derogatory term. It's just, I like to call it a moon, like that's all it is. It's a moon stock, like a stock that has crazy potential within it. But I want to point out that it's kind of a big deal that literally the NASDAQ, like their official write-up is actually on board with that now. To me, that's kind of an interesting development that like some of the bigwigs are saying, whoa, like this thing it's not going anywhere. This isn't just a fad that was there for late May, early June, and now it's going back down. Obviously, AMC is here clearly to stay, and even the NASDAQ is kind of hopping on board with that thesis. I thought it was worthwhile to point out to all of you. Now, for today particularly, just so you know where Vortex is at early this morning, they've already borrowed $285,000 against AMC for a net return of $320,000. Estimated short interest is 16.6%, utilization 86%, shares on loan 103 million. In terms of GME, already a net return of 24,000, kind of small. Estimated short interest 10.2%. Pre-market trading, very interesting. People are excited for the earnings. AMC is already up 1.9%. And then let's just quickly show you GME. Right now, it's pretty much break even, trading at 213 while AMC is at 42.44. Tesla right here, still looking a little bit sick, still selling off a bit, but Lucid, on the other hand, is looking very, very strong. Lucid closed out Friday up 12.6%, and today it's already up an additional 5.5%. Lucid trading at 44. We were talking about this in the second half of last week. I'm bullish on Lucid. I think the gap fill play is still a very real scenario, and at this point, Lucid, my biggest assumption right here, oil still high, still above $80 per barrel. Tesla, people are being a little bit weird about it right now. So I think people are moving their money, their EV bets from Tesla to Lucid, just on their recent craziness of Elon Musk and co and everything that's going on there. Back on the Elon thing, I really do believe that this is going to be a 1, 2, 3 day event. I think people are going to be like, okay, and we're going to like move on with our lives. I don't think this is going to be a lingering thing. Like Elon and his tweets are no stranger to putting out bombastic comments, having a huge influence, whether on Tesla, which could lead to impact on the S&P 500, the entire crypto sector through Doge, through Bitcoin, through SHIB. His words carry an excessive amount of weight. This is not new news. It's just another iteration of the same, just almost like power and influence that Elon has proven himself to have. It's absolutely crazy. In terms of the overall market, like I said, we hit an all-time high on Friday. NASDAQ 100 hit an all-time high. And then right here, are we going to gap up? If it holds at this level, the Russell 2000 will gap up to a new all-time high, which I was speaking about earlier on. And that's just very much going to relate to the infrastructure deal. So overall, some crazy stuff going on. AMC looking good. GME, I don't know if there's really any particular drivers for it today. AMC, the driver is the excitement for the earnings announcement. Tesla, the driver there is Elon. Lucid can be related to Tesla. The overall markets, it's just seasonal strength plus the infrastructure deal. And then, of course, just crypto. We have this breakout just ripping higher and higher and higher. Ethereum hit a new all-time high over the weekend. We had Solana hitting a new high at 260. Actually, it was right before the weekend. SHIB right now hanging out at 56. I'm just watching this trend, this top trend line. I'm looking for SHIB to break out above that. But overall, no matter how you dice it up, quite a bit of opportunity. And with that, as the markets are about to go ding, 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 let me get some of your questions ready, because it's just easiest to let the market kind of breathe for those first couple minutes, especially with whatever volatility we're about to see today. It's going to be definitely a volatile day. Should be some exciting stuff. Loopring, bro. I'm in Loopring. I bought it because of the GameStop connection. I still own GameStop. I'm excited about GameStop. I think they're going to be, I'm fingers crossed, hopefully they're very successful in the world of NFTs and can expand upon that. And we just know their connection with Loopring. So I bought some of that last week. I don't know who this name is, but someone said, hey, babe, hey. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is open. Mary D becoming an astronaut. Shout out, Mary. What about the Binance network chain? I don't really track that one. I know it's high up there on CoinMarketCap. I just don't own any personally. Thoughts for the shower. For every keyboard warrior knucklehead, there's 100 people who appreciate your dedication and knowledge. Here's to a great week. Nick, that's so kind. Yeah, I've noticed that like the negative Nancy's keyboard warriors are kind of the loudest people. And I don't know. I think that's just like kind of a function of their brain. I think a lot of you are in here and you're like, okay, cool. I like this kid's dumb jokes. I like how he's explaining things about the market, and you listen to it and you move on with your life. I'm sure there's a lot of you right now who are commuting to work. Maybe you're up early, you're getting the kids ready for school, or you're at work not listening to your manager, and you're just here to talk about the markets, hear what's going on with Elon, his brother, crypto. And I consider a lot that kind of subset of you of like, okay, or maybe you're active traders and you're just like, hey, I want to listen to someone who's also watching the markets right now. A lot of that makes sense to me. And I think a lot of you are just more, I don't know, almost like reasonable human beings. But then you have these people, these keyboard warriors who think every thought of theirs is like the best thought ever. And they need to share it with everyone and they have to start drama. I'm so incredibly tired of all this like social media drama that is just, it's comical how much I just don't care about it. All right, we did that. Why is Cardano stagnant worth holding? Thanks, Matt. So stagnant, I'm myself a little upset about that just because it's not really making sense to me. In September, they rolled out with the Alonzo hard fork. They have their smart contracts on a proof of stake model. It's just, I think it's just patience. I mean, Cardano's still up there. It's still like a top 10 crypto. It's still a top 10 market cap based blockchain. Patience, I'm not getting out of mine. I mean, all of these utility coins, I'm very, very much looking to hold for quite a while. AMC, just so you know, from a technical perspective, it's above 42, which is kind of the first breakout, but we almost gapped above that. The next watch is 44.40, 44.50, right in that zone. This thing is looking hot today. AMC is looking good. The SPY is looking good. Qs could do better. And like I was talking about, IWM, new all-time high. This was the infrastructure, when that got passed, this was such a layup of a trade. Hopefully you made some money on it, or hopefully you're actively up making some money now on whatever you happen to be in. But the infrastructure, and it just relates to the companies that are in this basket, in this particular ETF, exchange traded fund. I think it's easiest to think of it as just literally a basket of stocks. All right, AMC just tapped 43 once again. That's obviously exciting. AMC's up, but I'm telling you, the number we care about is 44.40, 44.50. That's the breakout level. Green is obviously good, but we want it up in this zone right here. It's where it was rejected on November 3rd. It's where we have previous resistance from mid-October, and it's also this trend line. Yes, green is good, but it comes down to this right here. So let's just see how things really, really play out today, but I would love to see it about $1.30-ish higher. I think Elon's plan is to dump Doge, make a lot of people rich, then invest back in Tesla. Oh, it's to pump Doge. I don't know. I think he cares more about Bitcoin. I kind of think there's some accuracy in Meet Kevin's comments about it, of how he could literally be trying to get those billions of dollars and like he himself just buy more Bitcoin. Like maybe he's like, I just want more of my own wealth invested in Bitcoin. If he were to quote unquote pump a crypto, I think at this stage in the game, he'd be a bit more excited about Bitcoin and what's going on. Remember, there are many, many people thinking that Bitcoin within this current cycle could hit $250,000 and Ethereum hit like 22,000, and by the end of this year, we're talking like 8 short weeks, people are looking at Bitcoin at 100K and Ethereum in the realm of I'm trying to think of what it was by the end of this year. It was definitely over 5,000, which doesn't even seem that impressive at this point because we're already at 4,700, so the prediction must be even higher. I mean, but Ethereum looking absolutely great. His own stand-up special. Are you trying to get me unsubscribed? Speaking as a former stand-up, now company head, stand-up way harder. Well, it wouldn't be stand-up. It would just be Netflix showing his tweets with like some music in the background. Keep eye on MMAT. Also just announced by TD and Robinhood that earnings will be after hours today. Could be explosive. AMC and MMAT to... What's going on? Trey's Subway Cup. Yes, to the moon. What's your thoughts on the VIX moving in the same direction as the markets last Friday? It just means that the markets had more volatility, which it tracks. It doesn't have to move it. Remember, VIX is not, it's not a derivative that's meant to perfectly move inversely of the market. The VIX is literally the measure of volatility of the S&P 500. Because of that, it does commonly move inversely, but it doesn't have to. VIX is in no way saying, hey, I have to move opposite. It just measures volatility, and typically there's more volatility when the market's selling off, but that's not a rule. With Elon's sell remarks, are you looking at Tesla puts? Any predictions for the week? No. With Tesla right now, it's just pure insanity, and I don't really feel like I have a particular edge in the play. So I don't have any options, but I still have my Tesla shares, but that's also just because I'm a long-term Tesla investor. So I'm not doing any active swing trades on Tesla whatsoever, just because I want to see how people, I guess, feel about this news. Thoughts on AMP coin and conspiracy theory this move Elon made will cause AMC and GME and finally Tesla. That's a weird conspiracy. I don't think Elon's comments have anything to do with AMC or GME. I think sometimes people's tinfoil hats are getting a little bit too tight. I didn't even know there was that conspiracy theory out there, and I don't really have many in-depth thoughts about AMP coin. Keep going with the info. Go Apes. What's going on, Prowess? Can you check DCPH real quick? And gap needs to be filled. All right, DCPH. I'll check that in a bit. What's your thoughts? And who do I think bought 20 trillion Shiba? So I know the conspiracy with that one is that it's actually Robinhood getting ready with their own kind of like pool of tokens. Actually, I should say coins for their users. That's an interesting theory that I think could actually be right. But I guess time will tell, Tommy. PFCG. You think that they make AMC's popcorn? Kinky Kong, I can't confirm or deny that, but that's an interesting play. I like how you're thinking about it. X-Blades, thank you for that diamond. Brendan Burns, boo, Prague still on the event horizon. Yes, remember, after the market closes on Wednesday, Prague will be reporting. XR Doge to the moon and runs on XRP Ledger. Hey, Mark, I know you don't particularly like playing crypto miners, but I want to play Mara for this BTC run. Where's support? All right, we'll write down Mara as well. What's going on, Elijah? You have now made it my life's goal to produce that special and make you watch it while others watch it just so you can realize what a horrifying notion that is. Brendan, if you make it, I will watch it. Tesla 911 gap on the daily. Sorry, my tinfoil hat was too tight. Tesla. I mean, the gap, I strongly believe, will be filled. It doesn't mean that it necessarily happens in the immediate future. If there's a general market sell-off, everything's high. It needs a breather. And I'm not saying that the breather has to happen today or this week, but eventually the cart is obviously in front of the horse. I don't think many people are denying that. But that also doesn't mean that it can't remain that for a bit. Like eventually reality catches up, but it doesn't have to catch up like instantaneously. So right now, just wait, make your money while you can. Whoa, look at the SPY right there. Whoa, that was jumpy. That was very, very jumpy. Anyway, things are very expensive. Especially with what's going on in inflation, the Fed now doing its tapering, they're kind of taking their foot off the gas. We're going to run into some period of where the overall market and individual equities take a considerable breather. I'm not here to say doomsday or anything. I think that type of fear mongering is silly. It's just more to point out really the obvious, and don't forget that you can make money in any market environment. I started my Robinhood to public transfer Thursday and appeared in my public account Saturday. Just a heads up if anyone is thinking about transferring. So my second transfer has now failed once again. And now with 2 failed transfers from Webull to public, I'm just going to do it manually. What I'm going to do is I wired money, and what I need to do is what's going to happen. I wired money into my public account, and I'm going to simultaneously buy all of my AMC and GME there while I simultaneously sell my AMC and GME on Webull, just so I'm to the right amount. And actually with AMC, I think I might buy a little bit more because of the earnings if the money comes through today. And then I need to take money out of Webull so I can still pay my bills. So I'm at the point where I have 2 failed transfers. I just need to do it manually. And I know that triggers a tax event. I just don't particularly want to keep my AMC and GME and Webull anymore. I want to keep it on public, where I know that my loaning is turned off. I'm just a little bit more supportive of them because they don't deal with any market makers. And I'm also just frustrated that my transfers have already failed twice. It's very infuriating. All right. GME, catching a little bit there. 216. GME, the level, so the way on AMC we're watching 44.40-ish, on GME it's kind of 225 would be an interesting movement. Tesla coming back around, Lucid up 6.57%. We're seeing some opportunity. We're seeing definitely some opportunity. SPY sold off, Q's being a bit weird. IWM, all right, let's get Lucid back up there. Prague holding out at 360. Bitcoin 65, Ethereum 4,700. So for market open, crypto's been selling, but that's a very short time frame to be looking at crypto, just to be very clear about that one. I know there's a lot to watch today, but can we get GME on the charts? I would like to. The same. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I have no issue keeping it up if it's moving. If something's not moving and it's not trading and there's no volatility to it, I can't like sacrifice one of the 4 squares that we have. So as long as anything keeps moving, like literally if any of these start to like lose momentum or getting low volume and not moving, well, it's just kind of boring. We got to keep the moving things up on the screen. Loop ring is now almost at 180. Man, wait, what did I get into it at? You guys, if you were listening on Friday or Thursday, that's when I got it. And just so you know, you could get it on Coinbase. I don't know what my average on loop ring is. Loop ring. Let me do this quick math. Loop ring 6 divided by, that doesn't seem right. And that's because I did my math wrong. I got in at $1.36, $1.37. So loop ring being interesting. Loop ring crushing it. So I got in right about here, like I said. It was like Friday or something. Or was this Friday? Yeah, I got in around the high 130, mid 130s, $1.36, $1.37. So I got in around here. And obviously that one's paying off. That's nice. Hey, sometimes you get lucky with it. To me, man, this crypto, I'm just so excited about the world of crypto, and I'm particularly excited that GameStop's getting into that world. I know so many people are, when it comes to GameStop, people are right now really talking about DRSing. They're talking about the shorts not covering from January. They're talking about a myriad of different things. Very legitimately, what gets me most excited and why I'm most confident in my reasoning, in my thesis for GameStop right now, is actually the pivot into the world of crypto, NFTs, the metaverse, a particular marketplace to compete hopefully with something like OpenSea. I just see it as potentially a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. And to me, like, it really is. Ryan Cohen and the leadership team has clearly strengthened this thesis, the fundamental thesis of GME. I love that they're pivoting away from just selling video games. I think that's a smart move. I think they used a black swan event to permanently improve the trajectory of the company, and it makes me more and more confident. So I hope we know that they have those 8 positions out there, like the job offerings. So hopefully they get those filled rapidly. Hopefully those people perform well. Hopefully they can build it out even more. GME is essentially rapidly becoming a kind of like a crypto play, not like a full-on crypto play, but definitely strongly related to crypto, specifically NFTs. And with the name recognition and the strong fan base, that's a dangerous combination. And then even with AMC, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about NFTs, and I think Adam Aaron has even said, hey, it's like something we're kind of looking at, maybe. But even clearly, they're talking about crypto too, because Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Doge, you're talking about Sheep. The fact that both of these companies, and right now, obviously the crypto movement is stronger on GameStop. Like, we can't say like, oh, it's an equal step into it for both of them. Obviously, GameStop has taken a more intentional, bigger step into the world of crypto, but that doesn't mean AMC can't in the future. It's taken some baby steps, and I like that, and I think it's a strong move, and I hope they both continue along this journey. Yes, Loopring is on Coinbase. So Loopring is a blockchain that's involved with GameStop and this NFT work. And if you want it, it's Loopring. You could check it out on Coinbase. Have you looked at SDC? Its earnings are also later. So I know its earnings are later. I haven't looked at it yet today. I know we've been tracking it slowly, surely. I'll put that on the list. We'll start subbing it out here. Tesla's getting a little bit boring. But remember, Loopring's not a company. It's a crypto. So like, don't think you're like searching in equity, if that makes sense. Just so we're all on the same page there. Oh, very, very quickly, if you haven't already, if you want to help me with the Moon Gang and the kind of the algorithm and all that stuff, if you could drop a like, that would be much appreciated. And don't forget to join up with the Moon Gang by hitting the subscribe button. Liking, subscribing are completely free. And with all the effort that I put in, it's honestly the only thing I ask for, because it just helps get this video in front of other people. So if you really want to help support me, you do not have to spend a single cent. Just like and subscribe is literally the only thing that I ask for, and I appreciate it. If you are not on YouTube and you're more of a Twitch person, if you want to hit that follow button, completely free. If you're more of a Rumble person because you're anti-big tech, if you want to hit that Royal Rumble button, also much appreciated. It means a lot to me. Thank you. All right, now let's start. All right, so Lucid's still running. Tesla bending back around. Let's quickly go through some of these requests. DCPH. Whoa. Pharmaceutical gap down. Something had to happen. There had to be some sort of big announcement. I wouldn't get into this right now. A huge gap down in pharmaceuticals typically means it had a failed test, it didn't get FDA approval, it lost the drug, something along those lines. I would assume with something like that the company is fundamentally changed. I don't know if I would want to be like, oh, okay, a gap fill, play back up, because there's this most likely a chance that permanently the fundamental aspect of the company is now different. So you're going to want to look into what happened between the 4th and the 5th. PFCG, shout out Kinky Kong. PFGC, Performance Food Company. So you're thinking that this one is the popcorn creator for AMC. Honestly, that's a crazy, I love your thesis. I really do. That's a very good example of how really all of us should be thinking outside of the box. You hear an announcement, you think about its implications. Right there, you heard about the announcement that AMC is going to be getting more into the world of just popcorn sales beyond just their theatrical popcorn. Seriously, gold star to you, Kinky Kong. I love that thought. Now, I don't know much about this company. Are they only making popcorn? Do they have many other things? I'd want to dive into it. But you are 100% on the right path. And from a technical perspective, the risk is at 45, which is acceptable. It's trading at 47.78. If you get this movement above 50, though, I think it becomes more interesting. You might be getting a big cup. But I would want to dive into it, learn a little bit about the leadership team. What else do they sell? What are the profit margins? How much were they impacted by the Rona? There's various things I would want to know. But your initial thought of even considering this, seriously, gold star. What else do we have? Tesla, did that. SDC, they are reporting. Not the best chart right now. Lower highs, same low. You're going to want $5 to hold and hopefully the breakout above 6. Right now, I see this as a non-play just because, yes, support is close, but I'm also not seeing many buyers. So with it, it's a patient play. If it wakes up and gets above 6 and breaks out above that resistance, could be very interesting. But I don't know. Right now, something like Lucid I find to be more interesting. We've been watching that now for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Lucid crushing it. Lucid is up 11.6%. This is amazing. I think ChargePoint's also having a good day. I was reading some stuff about that. Oh, a gap up, but it's not holding now. So it's still up. ChargePoint's up 9%, but exclusively based on the intraday price action, obviously Lucid's looking a little bit stronger. Like just this is up in a way. What else do we have? Riot. So some people were also asking about Riot and Mara. So these are crypto miners. Riot's having a good day, 16%. Why is it having a good day? Well, Bitcoin and Ethereum are ripping to kingdom come. So with it, if you want to play options, or not even options necessarily, like if you're just trying to get some exposure to crypto and you don't necessarily have any ability to get crypto directly, Mara, Riot, they're kind of the head honchos in the world of crypto mining. I'm not the biggest fan of it just because not only are you betting on crypto, but you're betting on the intra-business competition between companies such as Riot, Mara, Hut, SOS, the list goes on and on and on. So to me, you're taking on an extra risk that's not necessary. Like I'd rather just get crypto directly. And it's super easy to sign up for a Coinbase account, a Gemini account. If you want Voyager, it just download it. Where is it? Right here. Download Voyager, put in that code MAT21. As soon as you trade $100 of any crypto, you get an extra $25 of Bitcoin. It's good in the US and 49 states, excluding New York. If you're in New York, just know that your government hates crypto. And they also probably hate you for wanting to trade crypto. But beyond that, that's why you use Coinbase. That's why you use Gemini. Those are the three I personally use. There are other good ones. Binance, KuCoin, Uphold, Gate.io. Those are all ones that I know a lot of people are on. I'm not particularly on it. All of my crypto needs besides getting Ripple are fulfilled by some combination of those three: Voyager, Coinbase, Gemini. I'm on those three. I actively use those three. I'm a fan of those three. Voyager probably has the best UI, the best UX. Has also really good interest payments. Really good interest payments. Where is that? Right here. Some of these rewards, the interest, Bitcoin 5.75%, Ethereum 4.6%, Chainlink, really good payments for just letting it sit there. So I'm a big fan of that. Might as well make your money work for you. So I prefer those for crypto, but I still do admit that there is a money-making opportunity right now with crypto going wild, with Riot, Mara. I wouldn't necessarily go into the smaller miners just because they're not as well established. They don't have that same name recognition that Riot and Mara do. For me personally, if I'm going to play a miner, I kind of like ANY, any Sphere 3D, just because that also has a really high short interest. So you might, if crypto goes up, it might trigger some sort of momentum based off of the shorts covering. So that's an interesting thesis of why it's a little bit different. But with it, if it comes to crypto right now and you're going long, like if you play it right, you're probably going to end up making money. At least that's what history thus far has been showing about it. Hey, Matthew, you were totally right last time about your prediction for Sndl. Where do you think it's facing now, having a huge position there? So Sndl, I am bullish on the marinara industry. But right now, the entire industry is boring. It spiked, it sold off, and now if you look at Sndl, Hiddy, Tilray, MJ, the ETF, all of them, it's just sitting. We're waiting for legal action, legislative action. We're looking for a bill or a law that federally legalizes marinara. And this one, I don't really think it's much of a technical play. I don't think it's much of a fundamental play. It's a political play. We are waiting. If you feel confidently that there are progressive steps being made on a federal front for legalization, well, that might be a good time to get in. But right now, like I said, I'm bullish on it. There are a couple industries for the remainder of the decade that I'm very bullish on. Marinara is one, EV's one, cloud computing's another, esports one, sports betting is the other. So those are the industries that if you can pick the best companies or an ETF that tracks it, I personally believe, in my own humble opinion, that it's a smart play for the remainder of the decade. Marinara is one. Sndl is not necessarily my favorite. I think Tilray has it. I know it has better name recognition. It's a stronger fundamental business, but that doesn't mean you are going to lose on Sndl. Like, I think you can still make money. I just like to put my bets on the highest odds play. Like, in just terms of business, Tilray completely dwarfs Sndl and just like the size of the business, like absolutely dwarfs it. Not sure at what point to sell CAT and NUE, both up but a little slower than expected. What would be good exits on these? CAT, let's pull that up. The old gap up, about to get a fill down play scenario. So this is getting a little bit of enthusiasm off of the infrastructure bill. I would still want to see what happens at 220, 224 if you have time. I don't know your time horizon, Mary. So that one makes it a little bit more difficult. But I think it'll be battling it out, and maybe you'll get lucky and it'll break through. But with the infrastructure bill, I would assume money's flowing into it. That one's a little bit tough. Maybe a trailing stop is something you could do. See, I don't know your entry point and your risk tolerance, but CAT it's a nice dividend paying stock. The infrastructure bill came in. It's a huge company. I don't see Caterpillar going anywhere. It's kind of up to you. Like, I don't know if you see other plays and you want this money, if you want to throw in a trailing stop, how long you've been in it. That's kind of the difference of just person to person. Person to person. How's Tesla doing right now? Kind of flat. All right, Lucid. What else do we have on the day? Prague still hanging out at 360. Is there anything else moving? Solana 244, Ethereum 4700, GME 215. How's the SPY? The SPY selling. The Qs are selling. IWM now. So we are actually seeing kind of the markets being a bit wonky. What are your 3 favorite AMC call options from cheap to expensive? Right now, I have no AMC options, just to be very, very clear about this. I'll let you know if that changes. If I were to play something right now, it would probably be the December 50s, maybe the December 55s, like the December monthlies. I wouldn't play the November monthlies. It's just not enough time. Theta is going to eat you alive. The earnings announcement is a binary event. Either we're going to beat or we're not going to beat. It's going to be a flip of a coin. I've never seen a good pattern of a stocks trend before earnings and it being indicative of if we beat or not. So whatever happens today, whether we go up, whether we go down, whether we go sideways, it doesn't really matter, because tomorrow people are actually going to be reacting to the earnings. So I'm waiting. I don't think it's really an ideal time to get options right now. Maybe you're feeling lucky. Like, if you're feeling abnormally lucky, okay, have at it. I hope you crush it. But for me, for just, I don't know, my own mental state, it's just easier to sit on shares right now because I don't want to just get completely beat up by Theta. If you're feeling lucky and you want to have at it, all I say is make sure you're giving yourself enough time. I think there's too many people playing lotto calls for like that week or the next week, not realizing how much volatility and time till expiration really comes into play. Hey, Mark, have you looked into the Cryptide BBIG spinoff? I'm sure there's a lot of us would love your thoughts. I have not. I'd have to write that. I don't even know what that is. Let me write that down. Cryptide. Happy to look into it. BBIG. Loop Ring looks awesome, up 33% today. FOMO equals supply squeeze equals moon. I don't know if FOMO equals a supply squeeze, because isn't there a finite of loopering? Like, why would that squeeze the supply? Like, just, I would say you can take out that middle thing. Just FOMO equals moon. FOMO, fear of missing out. People are getting excited. They want to buy it. They see like a runaway train. They want a ticket on that train. So they buy. And they're buying it off willing sellers. Red Knight, I appreciate that super chat. Can you take a look at LSPD? IWM. Whoa. LSPD. What is this one? A package software, subordinate voting shares. What is this? Well, they had their earnings and a gap down. So if it builds up momentum, you have a gap fill opportunity. But I would first want to see it actually get above 77, maybe even 80. I guess 77, 76.45. But it looks like it just lost on its earnings. So you would want to see how something had happened, because apparently it beat on earnings, but maybe they lowered guidance, or I don't know, maybe a CEO quit or something along those lines. Various things could be going on. You'd have to, like, whenever you see a gap down because of earnings, you have to dive into why. Making fun of chat because he cannot pronounce marijuana right. I can pronounce it right, but you get in trouble with YouTube if you say it too much. And I've also, a couple weeks ago, was told that it was inappropriate to say marijuana. So now, I mean, even from the start, I always said marinara just because it's more, I don't know, it's humorous. And I have the comedic ability of like a 12-year-old, and it makes me laugh. Happy Monday. Interesting. I have 0 classes today to teach. I wonder what epic stuff I'll see today. Hey, Matt, AMC will only go up if you have your Moon Gang sign up. Let's go, apes. Ronnie. So I was going to save that for the other stream today of like my debacle. Headline of it, of me trying to hang up the Moon Gang thing. I am no carpenter. No one listening right now should be attempting to hire me for any carpentry skill. Like what? Like if you see a Matt Kohrs out there who's like, hey, like I moonlight and do some carpentry work. Like you need a new door, you need a sign, like you need a paint. No. Do not hire me. There's a couple walls in this. There's a couple holes in this wall behind me that I don't think are supposed to be there. And I know they're not supposed to be there because I put them there. And it's just a whole thing. My landlord's going to be pissed. Let's not talk about that one. Oh, man. All right. Hang on. What did I want up? Lucid's having a great day. Lucid. There we go. So for the people who are joining in, just so you know, particularly if you care about AMC, if you have an AMC position, there is a fundamental driving event today. It is the Q3 earnings announcement after the market closes, an hour after the market closes, 5 p.m. ET. I will be streaming it right here on this channel. Bring yourself, bring your friend, bring your fiance, bring whoever you want, bring your siblings. Be like, hey, we got to listen to whatever Adam Aaron and that English sounding guy, the CFO, is going to say. And then I'll do a quick breakdown for you. They usually last about an hour. That's kind of what it's been over the past 2. So this will be like the 3rd one that I'm streaming of it. And it's always fun. It's always exciting. Usually they say stuff that gets the crowd going, and then we get to see it in chat and everyone like losing their mind in real time. It's always a pleasure to see it. So an hour after the market closes, I will be here. And that doesn't change anything about the afternoon stream. So obviously, we're streaming now. We'll be streaming Power Hour, and then we'll begin to stream the Q3 earnings announcement, just so everyone knows. Tomorrow, a bit of a weird day. Tomorrow, I'm doing a town hall with Charles Payne in New York. So I'm not going to be doing the afternoon stream because I'm going to be in New York. So we'll have the morning stream. It's going to be about like 10 minutes short just because I need to actually get to New York. I need to hop in my car and drive up there. So just to keep everyone apprised to what the schedule is. Bring your wife's boyfriend. Stop it. You can carpet, young Matt. and I won't hear otherwise. Seize the day. Carpent diem. Thoughts on the chart for ANY. ANY. Another miner, but this miner has a high short interest. It's actually coming back around pretty nicely. Watch ANY poke its head above 760. That's where it kind of gets into the danger zone. And then obviously 870. So watch 760, 870. But first one, it almost looks like it's about to have a technical breakout. I would just be watching 760 on ANY. But to be clear on it right now, I have previously traded ANY, but as of now, I have no position on it. No position on it. Quit Gregging yourself. Quit Gregging yourself. All right. And he looks pretty good on the daily chart, wanting to cross a MACD on top of a bouquet of Dutch tulips. I love that, Kudery. Hey, Matt, do you have Lucid or Text info, please? Yeah, but Lucid, it's not a... I mean, I think so many people are now thinking every play is like shorts getting squeezed, and it's just not true. Uh-oh. Log in again. There's an issue. Validating my credentials. What? Hello? Why can't I get into Vortex? My credentials? All right, now I'm in. But anyway, I think there's a lot of people who got brought into the markets because of AMC and GME, and now they think that like everything has to be a short squeeze play. That's actually a rarity. So even this, Lucid has a short interest of 7%. So it's a little above average, but Lucid is not a short squeeze play. Like, I don't know how to be more clear about that. It's just a very good EV play. It's a smaller luxury EV play based in the US. They, in late October, just started rolling out with their deliveries. It's a good looking car with a lot of range. Their batteries have over 500 miles in range. It's not a squeeze play. It's just a good fundamental EV bet. Vanessa becoming an astronaut. Do you think it's too late to get a position on GME? I think it depends on your mindset. Like, what are you in it for? Are you in it for the chance of a squeeze? Are you in it because you're happy with the fundamental trajectory of them getting into NFTs? How much are you going to risk? What's your risk point? How much money do you want to put up? Are you risking it going to zero? Are you risking 200? Are you risking 150? What's your time frame? Do you want to be in it for years? Do you want to be in it for days, minutes? Just generically, if something is good or not, I'm not the person to tell you that. Obviously, I am not a financial advisor, but more important than that is we all have different financial situations. We all have different personalities, which means we have a different risk tolerance, and we all have a different idea of how long we want to be involved in a play. There are some people who are active day traders. There's other people who buy stock and they come back years later. So with such... I guess a diverse way to look at the market, it's hard for me to just be like, oh, it's good now or it's bad now. Because I mean, I could say that through my own lens, but I'm already been in GME. I own shares. I've had it now for quite a while. But I don't know about your situation. People excited about Tilray right now. Whoa, up 7%. I think we are good. I think we are good. All right. How's Tesla doing right now? Tesla 1,183. All right. So these are starting to really not move again. But Tesla is. Interesting. And then we'll get Tilray over here. We got to keep the movers up, folks. The movers, the movers, the movers. Can you take a look at Sndl? Yep, we previously looked at Sndl. Mara is killing it today. I mean, it makes sense just because crypto is killing it today. Bitcoin right here, highlighted 65,000 and a half. Ethereum over 4,700, still looking for that official test of 5K. Matic could not hold on to 2. A little bit bummed about that. Sheeb right here, just trading in mid-range. We're looking for this top trend line breakout. Loopring having a freaking great day. Opportunity. Stay away from Tesla. Well, right now I still have my Tesla investment, but I'm not actively trading Tesla by any means. Actually, speaking of, I want to show you the big picture of Lucid. So Lucid, now we have two gaps. We have the gap below it from the close on right here, the gap to whatever this is, 41.92, but then you have a gap to the upside at 56, and you have a gap to the bottom side at 42. I believe Lucid will fill both of these gaps. Which one will it fill first? I have no idea. Right now, the momentum's obviously to the upside, but that's still some serious distance. That's still $10. That's about a 22% gain just to fill this gap. And now you have the gap below it. I don't know which one's going to fill first, but I would bet at some point in the future, LCID fills both of these gaps. One at 41.92 to the downside and one at 56.08 to the upside. Matt spreading FUD about synthetic landlord. We all know his mom is going to make him crustless PB&J later. I hope so, Alec. Hey, Matt, happy Monday, fun day. Could I get your thoughts on NIO, EV competitor with earnings coming up? Thank you. So I still follow NIO and I still like NIO. NIO is an impressive company. Their technology is pretty solid. The issue with NIO is that when you're talking about NIO, you can't not talk about the political tensions between US and China. And right now, it's a good EV company, but that's why it used to be my second favorite, and now it's kind of my third favorite with Lucid going up to spot 2, just because there is obviously political tensions between the US and China, and even in the most recent political regime, they were talking about unlisting all Chinese stocks if they don't comply with our auditing. It's just like a whole mess. So not only are you betting on just the success of a company, but you're also trying to take into account the political situation, and it just makes the whole situation a bit more complicated. Matt's mom is not Walter White. Oh, man. All right, so Tilray still having a good day. AMC picking up. Hey, GME, is it going to get going? Is it going to join the party? All right, let me see. I'm curious if my money transfer actually hit public. Public. Because the stock transfer did not work. Okay, looks like it did. Dope. Have you talked with Trey since he failed the hot chip challenge? I haven't talked with him about it, but I was told he did it, but he didn't do it for an hour, which I feel like that's how you win it, is you got to do it for an hour. You can't do it for like a couple minutes. Prague holding should pop off. Your thoughts? Prague. I mean, that's another one that I'm in it. I have calls. I also have stock. I am bullish on it. I want it to go up. I think it'll go up. But to me, it's more of like a legitimate investment in a company that's undervalued rather than a short squeeze play. Now, with that being said, it could squeeze, definitely. The short interest is there. But Prague, it's disrupting the $10 billion a year plus Humira industry. And instead of being injected, which Humira, one of the world's most popular drugs, Prague has the patent for it to be an oral pill. And to me, it should be worth more than $500 million as a company. And that's just talking about one of its business pillars. It does have various other things that it's currently working on. So I'm in Prague, and if it squeezes, that's cool. But I'm in it just because I think it's legitimately undervalued. How is PayPal doing? Do you think they have some dump after hours Q3 earnings call? I wouldn't see why they would go down. I don't own PayPal. I think it's a good company. I think it's another one that's smartly getting into the world of crypto. But I haven't been following it closely. I'm curious about your thesis of why you think it's gonna dump after hours. You mean to tell me every stock isn't the freaking offshoot recipient of an algorithm as a counter against Russian meme cyber attacks to redistribute wealth and undo civil unrest? Oh yeah, I have given my last F. Oh, Brendan. All right, KULR. Let me write that one down. KULR. Got it. SCO. All right, so Tilray ripping to Kingdom Come. AMC trying to get some steam. It did bounce off of 42, a little under 42, and it got going. GME, it just needs to get above like 217. Let me know if that happens. Tesla fighting back very, very rapidly. I'm not going to lie. I am surprised. I thought his antics on Twitter we would have seen more of a red day. It's down 2.6%, but at this rate, it might just keep going green. What else do we have going on? What else is moving? Prague 360, the market cues, IWM. What else is moving right now? I mean, I guess we could just actually put Tesla here and then GME up here if nothing else is really going. What is Pelosi trading today? If I had to guess, she's just, her eyes are still green from the amount of money she's up on NVIDIA. 304, NVIDIA having not the best, I mean, it's up 2.3%, which isn't bad for a $760 billion company. But she's probably just literally in her like golden coin bath from the amount of money she made off this one. Thoughts on Car. So Car was a very quick squeeze. If it gets going, you'll know if it gets over 322. But until then, the shorts got squeezed out, and I think they covered, and then new shorts got in, and thus far the new batch of shorts seems to be winning. You might have a round two with it if it gets above 322, 325, something like that, but I think the game will be over on the craziness if it breaks below 273. Speaking of previous insanity, what's DWAC up to? I still think it gap fills down to 52. I mean, I've been very public about that. And it's nothing against DWAC. It's a technical gap fill down to $52. And speaking of gap fills, TSLA, Tesla, $1,208. So it's, how much do we have to go? About $14? Could be gap filling. Easy plays. People asking about fuel cell. Another EV one. It's up 14%. I remember. So fuel cell, I had this region which it broke out above. So now fuel cells, in my opinion, another gap fill up to 1127. So Tesla currently being a gap fill play. Fuel cell currently being a gap fill play. I like how it got out of this region where previously consolidated, sold off, consolidated, bounced, got rejected, consolidated again, looked a little bit weak, but instead broke to the upside. Now you're talking about 1130. And if it holds past that, you could even talk about this recent high of 1270-ish. I see some people excited about ATER. ATER has a lot of room to go. This has just been selling. I just don't see any buyers on ATER. Can you look at Plug Power? It's moving. Plug Power. Plug's having a good day. So kind of a valley right here. I like this. A gap filled on the valley, bouncing back. Did it actually gap fill? So you have it did gap fill there already, but you have another gap fill at about 46. So if you get this momentum above 42, 4270-ish, I think it's very reasonable to watch 46. And obviously, with EV just being hot, it might continue past that. But this is what I'd be watching. Strong. Technically got a little bit too hot, took a breather, now showing momentum again. If it can't get above this, just be careful because there is still a gap down to $30 on it. Matt, Elon builds a literal rocket to the moon paid for with Doge, and Matt says Elon is more bullish on Bitcoin. I'd like you, but you are sleeping on Doge. What? He's clearly more bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, this is not an opinionated thing. Like, look at how much money he has in Bitcoin versus Doge. He said he has Doge, but he has a considerable. I mean, he put some of Tesla's like books into Bitcoin. And I'm not against Doge. I have Doge. I want it to do well, but like you can't say that without like knowing the facts of it. You put more money into the thing that you're more bullish on. What are your thoughts on ADA? Love it. I'm in it. It's been consolidating. It's been super, super boring lately, but I'm still going to hold it. Mark, if I were to sell AMC to jump back in on the dip 30 minutes later to give a few shares, is that still recognizing gains? Also check. Yeah, it is. You close the position, so that would be that would be a taxable event. Thoughts on the Rivian IPO? I can get in a listing IPO with my other brokerage. Thoughts on the price target trades on Wednesday? I'm not trading Rivian. Rivian is coming in sky high. They're looking to come in at an evaluation of $65 billion, which would be an incredible raise of $10 billion. And that literally puts it in the exact same league as Ford and GM, which are like a couple billion more than that. It's just too much excitement. If you want to actively trade it, I think there's going to be volatility, but I'm not going to be actively trading it. I think the excitement is going to push it higher, and then it's going to like end up taking a breather and come down, make a base, and then start trading like a quote unquote normal equity. I think there's just going to be too much excitement and volatility when it first comes out, and that's coming out this week. Once again, Rivian, stupidly expensive, $65 billion. Ford, GM levels, that's nuts. If you execute an option, does that count as gains? Does executing options? I actually don't know about that one. Not a hedge fund. I'm trying to think about the last time I talked about with my CPA of when you're executing from an option over to a stock. I don't know, because is it actually realized you just converted it? Does anyone know that? If you execute an option, is that in taxable event, like when you're basically converting it over to stock? I don't know that off the top of my head. And regardless, whatever I say about stocks or taxes, well, really stocks as well as talks, you have to talk to a financial advisor. And taxes, please talk to a CPA or someone like a true tax professional. My thoughts are that it's not a taxable event, but those are just my thoughts, and I am not a tax expert by any means. By any means. Sir, I put it to you that my super chat set music would smash must PP tweet special offstage and PVMP joke formals have the sophistication of an infant too. My very last F I say. Brendan, I hope you're having a good day, man. I recently opened a Coinbase account and working through the lessons. I want to deep dive into the function of each token. Where should I look? I mean, actually, there's a lot of great resources on even YouTube for free. If you're trying to get going in the world of crypto, I'm a big fan. If you're looking for live streaming, you could check out Bitcoin Crypto. You could check out Cryptos R Us. If you're looking for like normal VODs, like video uploads, you could check out Andre Jick. You could check out Max Mayer. You could check out Coin Bureau. All those crypto-based accounts. Those are very crypto-centric. I myself have learned a lot from all of those people I just listed. Re-tax questions. The answer is usually yes if it hurts. That's a good point. I want to get rich really quick. Where should I start? Not the market. The people who get rich very rapidly in the market are extraordinarily lucky. The market, the stock market, it's a game of small, consistent wins continually over a long time frame. There's certain things where you hear stories of just like, oh, someone bought this like crazy position and a couple days, weeks later, it went up this percentage and like they made that much money. That's a rarity, folks. If you're chasing that, you're going to get burned time and time again. If you happen to hit one of those, seriously, congratulations, but it's just a lot of luck involved. The market, to generate wealth and income and just money through the market, it's a marathon. It's consistent gains over the long term. Compound over and over. You're compounding your percentage gains. If you're continually hunting for like one thing that's going to explode, like that the story of the guy who put 8K into SHIB and a year later he's worth like $5 billion. Yeah, it can happen, but he's also like one of the people on this entire planet who's ever pulled that off. So if you're hunting for that, it's just very, very rare. It's very, very rare. Hey, Mark, can you give me your thoughts on Matterport? Grab 25 strike, December, 17 calls. Thanks, Duckboy. Isn't MTTR, right? Matterport. 25 December. I like it. Had earnings about to gap fill. So make sure it gets over 23 and some change. You don't want this gap to be resistance. And then from there, you're pretty much watching above 25. So you should be in the money at that point. But just make sure it's not going to get rejected at its high of the day, which is the low of November 3rd. No worries. I was just curious. I'm too poor to execute the options. Do you think the transfer failed because Webull didn't actually locate the shares? I've seen some stuff like that going on. Thanks for everything. They didn't give a reasoning, and I've seen that too. And it could be accurate, but a lot of people are just pulling that assumption out of their ass. I see that on social media. They're like, my transfer didn't go through because you didn't actually have shares. And like I said, that could be true, but I asked Public, I asked Webull, I was like, what's the reason the transfer did not happen? I asked both of them, and they both said, we don't know. So like I said, it could be true. I just don't know where people are getting that information. Because when I spoke to both companies, both of them shrugged their shoulders and were like, I don't know, it could be a technical thing. So like I said, maybe they didn't have the shares. Clearly a possibility. I just don't know. That it has the vibe of something that just sounds like nefarious that the community would grab onto and kind of blow up on social media. Maybe it's true. I just have not experienced it myself. There are plenty of AMC shares. GME is the only play. I don't agree with that at all. GME is a play. I like GME. AMC is a play. I like AMC. Tesla's a play. I mean, there's many places to say, what? It's the only play. Like, what do you realize that there's 6,000 equities, 5,000 cryptos. There's an entire futures market. There's an entire options market. To say it's the only play, man, what a weird, distorted view of reality. Matt Toe, thank you. Matt, who the hell is Mark? Mark, some people just call me Mark for the fun of the fact that it's not my name, for the fun of the fact of we're all big supporters of the Fast and Furious franchise here, and Mark Sinclair, aka Vin Diesel, is the star, creator, and profiteer of that show. There's various reasons. Ken Jeong and Peter Griffin equals Ken Griffin. Sure. What do I think about MQ? Looks pretty weak. Has upcoming support at 25. Hopefully it bounces off of that. It also has upcoming earnings, so that'll be a fundamental event. But right now, I don't see many buyers ever since the start of the month. What else do we have? Any suggestions on losing all bodily function in public due to the moonshot? Asking for a friend. Just enjoy it. Just bask in it. What else do we have? Okay, so AMC currently trading at 42.40. Interesting day. Popped up, sold off, once again returning. Let's see if it can get roughly above this region of 42.60. GME not really doing anything right now. It's just flat at 216. If it gets above 217, it might get some momentum behind it. Obviously, very, very possible. Where's Lucid at? Lucid's giving up some of its gains on the day as well. But Tesla not. Tesla's still fighting. Yeah, there we go, GME. Right when you talk a little smack on it, it starts to wake up. We just want this pump above 216, 217, maybe get some momentum there. How's Loopring looking? Loopring, looking phenomenal. Wow. Loopring crushing it. Actually, I kind of want to bring up Loop Ring just because why not? Loop Ring for the win, apparently. Someone said talk smack on AMC. Oh man. Oh man. AMC, there we go. GME also waking up. I like that. How's the Russell looking? Russell not doing much. So okay, AMC, GME, you can feel it. It's getting some momentum. Okay, GME is pretty obvious, but this little bar right here, when it started to push, momentum obviously being built up. So pretty awesome. People are talking about Nvidia. Nvidia also waking up. Waking up. All right, let me just very quickly check this out. AMC looking good. GME looking good. Another just crazy day in the market. Another crazy day in the market. But that's what we pay the big bucks for. No one wants a boring day. No one wants a boring day. How do I get more of this? How do I get more? Nvidia looking good. GME looks like it wants to start testing 218 and then from there to 225. AMC's at 42.60. I like that. And the intraday high is just over 43. This doesn't make sense. This does not make sense. Huh. I guess my money hasn't cleared yet on public. I try to do the manual transfer and I'm not allowed to. You need to wait for the deposit. I guess I'm waiting. Waiting. What else do we have? Love your relationship advice, but I would like some non-financial stock advice. Could you look at CHPT? Charks. Yeah, so we were looking at ChargePoint already a little bit, having a good day, but didn't it kind of, it gapped up, but it's not holding. So exclusively on an intraday basis, that's not a good sign. But on a daily basis, I mean, this thing has been just ripping ever since $18. I mean, it was up almost $10. 50% gain, currently hanging out at resistance. So yeah, it has this gap, and whenever things gap up and go red, that's not the best sign because it means something wonky was happening in pre-market and the market's just not agreeing with the new price as more participants. So yeah, you have to be mindful of a gap filled at 25.41, but it's, I mean, this thing has previously traded as high as 37, has traded as high as 50. ChargePoint, I think it's a good EV play. It's not my favorite EV play. I'm much more biased to Tesla and Lucid when it comes to the world of EV. I think ChargePoint's okay. I'm not against it. It's just, I mean, obviously we all have a finite amount of capital unless you're the Federal Reserve. So for me, I like to just put my money in what I perceive to be higher odds plays. And I just think Tesla and Lucid are higher odds plays than ChargePoint. But if you still want exposure to just the EV sector, I mean, you could check out something like ARKQ. So if you're like, I like EV, but I don't necessarily want to pick an individual company, well, that's what this ETF is for. It is run by Cathie Wood, and for quite a while, I very much looked up to her. I very much thought she was smart. I very much thought man, like she knows what the hell's going on. I viewed her to be, I don't know, almost like a quasi visionary. But recently she's been buying more and more Robinhood. And I'm just like, what? Why? I just don't, it doesn't make sense to me. It's a company that the public is against. And on top of that, even if you don't care about the public being against it, their business model is failing. It is clearly failing. Payment for order flow, potentially on the chopping block from the chairman of the SEC. They do not have these crazy events such as Doge exploding in the second quarter of this year that allowed them to make a lot of money. They didn't list Sheeb. I just don't see why she's buying Robinhood. I really, really don't. From a social standpoint or a business fundamental standpoint, people are leaving Robinhood. They're leaving it in droves. What happens when selling covered calls and the stock closes below the strike price but runs up after hours above strike on day of expiration? Nothing, because options close at 4 p.m. That's like the last moment that the contract could be exercised. It doesn't matter if it's after hours because you can't execute an option after that. The mods hilariously frequently tell me to stop being weird, and I'm forced to remind them how much that ship has long sailed us all by. What are your thoughts on jumping into Lucid right now? I mean, you're chasing. But it's tough because it still comes back to this argument of what's your time frame. Are you in this for a quick trade? Okay, like if you're a quick day trader, well, it just sold off. So like, yeah, maybe you're just playing a quick reversion. If you're playing a medium term reversion play, all right, it's a bit chasey if you're looking at the daily chart. But if you want to become a long-term investor just because you want to invest in the EV space from US companies, well, yeah, you still have that gap fill up to 56 and it's trading at 44. So it's highly dependent on your time frame and it's highly dependent on your risk tolerance. So every person listening has to take that into their own consideration. But for me, I think of Lucid as a long-term play, and I like Lucid. What else do we have? What else is this? Hey, Matt, would it be smart to get PayPal options today for earnings, or is it too risky? I'm not very good at knowing when to buy options. I mean, what options? What direction do you think PayPal is going? You'd have to have like, you're making a bet based on like how you think PayPal will react. Beautiful day for apes today. Let's get 44 for AMC this week. Do you have any input on PFE or are you in any pharma? I have puts at 44 after the run up. So for Pfizer, I don't have that one, but I mean, I track it just because like it's an aspect of life right now with the vaccines. It's kind of an interesting play right now. I don't commonly play pharma. Really, my only active pharma play is Prague. I'm long on Prague. But for Pfizer, man, like I think this gap fill is very realistic, especially if the mandate doesn't go through for people to get it. That's just clearly going to hurt their bottom line. And I'm talking about the political mandate for companies over 100 employees to get the shot. It's going to be revenue that's lost if the mandate, if the judges find it to be, what did they call it? A grave statutory and constitutional issue. So if the judges continue with that rhetoric, well, that's lost revenue. And now there's additional competition between companies such as Merck, which is coming out with, instead of an injectable, it's a pill, an oral pill. And then you also have Regeneron or whatever that other one is, another pill that people are making. It's just, there's more competition in this space. What else do we have? All right, so we did that. Good. I think I'm up to date. I have puts at 44. So finally with yours, Jacob, I just don't know the time. Any truth to AMC offering NFT to all shareholders? I've never heard of that. And I feel like if it were true, it would somehow have come across somewhere on one of my forms of social media. I haven't heard anything about it. AMC and Disney will present surprise screenings for 4 popular films, one each from Walt Disney Animation Studios, Pixar Animation Studios, Walt Disney Studios, and Lucasfilm. Interesting. That's cool. I like that. I mean, it's not going to be something that fundamentally drives the company, but it's they know how to drum up excitement, which can be very, very beneficial. Very beneficial. When earnings, 5 p.m. Correct. And I will be streaming it. So we'll be streaming it right here. We're going to be doing this stream and then obviously the Power Hour stream. And then today we're going to do that extra stream where we can listen to the earnings and then I'll do like a breakdown of it for everyone who's listening. But once again, 5 p.m. Adam Aaron mentioned making NFTs out of tickets at some point. Yeah, so that's what I was referring to before of when I was like, oh, they like have spoken about it as like a concept that they might be in, but he's been much more upfront with accepting crypto as payment, and the ticket thing was just like an idea. It wasn't necessarily like they're like, oh, we made progress on it. And who knows, maybe they're going to make more of an update this afternoon or this evening, I should say, in the earnings of like, no, we are doing it. But the previous discussion from Adam Aaron, it was just conceptual. He's like, oh, we could do this. And people were like, do it, man. I assume it's 5 p.m. ET on AMC. Yeah. Yes. AMC currently trading at 42.45. It's up 1.8% on the day. GME is trading at 216.40. It is up 1.47% on the day. Lucid is currently at 43.30. Shot up, being sold off. Kind of funky action. The S&P 500, I believe, did it officially hit a new all-time high? No, a little bit shy by 40 cents. The Qs definitely didn't hit a new all-time high, but the Russell 2000 did. Right here, the Russell ended up pushing to 244.46. You could see just the volatility. It's just getting crazy on all of these. It's gonna have a breather. You don't just, the markets don't commonly just rip. These are all gonna take a breather. So if you're sitting there and you're talking about the overall stock market and you're asking yourself, should I get in now or could I get a cheaper price in the future? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not in no way clairvoyant, at least that I know of. But I strongly believe if you're patient, you'll be able to get in at a cheaper price in the future. Just because right now they're exploding higher and higher and higher, and it's just not sustainable. I'm not saying we're going to like have a massive sell-off that prompts a recession, which leads to like the second Great Depression. I'm just saying, hey, technicals are hot. It's okay to have a reasonable pullback. I see a bunch of bots talking about TPV. Hey, Mr. Bots, if you could stop spamming that. I'm like, the fact that you're spamming it makes me not even want to look at it at all because it's annoying to everyone involved if you keep spamming it. And all the different accounts. So yeah, look at this. In real time, you guys are seeing all of these bots. TPV, Trav Go PV, tells me instantaneously you should not be in it. Someone's trying to pump something. We appreciate Disney working together to provide AMC moviegoers the opportunity to see their favorite Disney films at their local theater. Elizabeth Frank, EVP Worldwide. Cool. AMC should make retro movie posters and sell them at the theater. Kind of an interesting idea. I like it. Someone asked for the Prague Vortex update. Yes, Prague, Progenity. Estimated short interest, 37%. Utilization, 96%. Shares on loan, 32.6 mil. Estimated short interest, like I said, it has increased today. It started off the day at 35%. Now we're up above 37. I see Cootery right here getting excited about ANY. Coming up to that breakout level at 760. Highly interval. I load up a long term. Do you think Elon Musk will use commercial in space? Just saying, many bullish things happening with the SPIR flying under the radar now. All right, I'll have to look into it. I don't know much about it. Space chain. Should count rather. Okay, thank you, Seth. I appreciate that update. If you get over 6,900 likes today, I'll get a space duck tattoo. Proof will be provided. Seriously? All right, so one of the mods just said, if you get over 6,900 likes today, I will be getting a space duck tattoo. Proof will be provided. And that's from Cosmic Avocado. Cosmic, are you in the YouTube chat right now? Folks, you just heard that right. One of the mods, apparently 6,900. Well, let's make it even higher. Let's make it 6,969. 6969. Cosmic getting a space duck tattoo. Proof will be provided. I like it. All right, folks, let's do that for him. Why is it taking that so long for them to cover? I don't quite know what you mean. I mean, they cover when they want to cover. Or I guess if they're like margin called. Right there, there's Cosmic. Just reading the message. New Yorkers can buy a sheep now on Coinbase with no issue as of last Friday. Let everyone know. Yeah, we were talking about that. So now that kind of rolled out. I think I even retweeted it. But I think that's going to help sheep. EV or ED, there's an ED ETF. Why does your PP look like... Boom, good night. You've been great. Fine. Sick up your super cool BF Elon. Rockets and Brendan Burns. What's going on, man? You're having... I don't know if you're in Australia right now, but it feels like it's hot. Feels like you might be getting overheated. Isn't interest killing them though? Well, those interest payments, remember they're paying that, but that's the yearly rate. So if it's at 1%, you would split that up per trading day, and that's what they're paying per day. That's not what they pay. That is not what they're going to end up paying like every single day. The cost to borrow, that is yearly, annual. Uh, 6969 on the dot again. By the way, you have no idea how many versions of that last tweet I had to edit to pass screening. GME waking up. At this point, it's at 218. We're watching 225. And then AMC kind of hanging out. GME leading the most recent pop, but we are looking for that break of 42.66. And then hopefully break of the intraday high of 43. Really caring about 44.40. Tesla, interesting. Lucid giving back some of its gains. Any looking good. Watch 760 there. Loop Ring is at $1.81 right now. When is AMC earnings again? 5 p.m. ET today, and I will be streaming it right here. Lord Edge tweets. Oh man, what's he going with right now? And then on that crazy train where he told off Ron Wyden, Mr. Edge, when may we expect a camera retrofit for 2016-17 Model S and X? Long live the Lord. And then he just said, coming soon. That's his recent tweet. His recent tweet. AMC, go win. GME, go win. Let's throw up some Loop Ring. That one's fun to watch. Let's see if Loop Ring gets ripping as well. Be a beautiful day to be an ape. Oh, let me get the rocket. Also just wanted to add, I've super chatted a couple times saying this, but I really want to reiterate, absolutely love the content and all you do. Jacob, that's so incredibly kind of you. I appreciate it. Thank you for that support, man. Matt, I'm up 13K on my $95 calls for Lucid. Can I sell and keep that profit? Yep. you do not have to hold your options until expiration. You can exit now. Like you would sell your option to someone else who wants to own that option. Not financial advice on Loopring for a long hold. I'm in Loopring because of my support of GameStop. And I think GameStop, especially with the enthusiasm in their audience, will be very good at this whole NFT marketplace thing. And Loopring being kind of a technical component to that, I think that they both go higher. So in a certain way, I view my Loopring investment as an additional GME investment. So now I own GME and Loopring. Thoughts on the crack up boom concept? What's that? All of this just fueled by central banks' money. It will go over the next 6 months, crash down afterwards. So I don't know about a crash down because they've already announced the tapering, and we all have a very good idea of the tapering schedule. It's basically $15 billion a month, which will bring the end of the tapering mid next year. And then we know at the end of the year, sometime probably between September and definitely December, they're going to do at least one rate hike, but maybe even two. So depending on the aggression of rate hikes to help battle inflation, okay, yeah, that could not be received the best by the market. But I don't know about this crashing down thing. It's just, I'm more of, I don't know. Like, I always think of this of just playing it level to level to level. Right now, do I think the market and many equities are highly overvalued? Yes, but they keep going up. So I'm going to keep my long positions on until I see signs of weakness. I'm not going to, I think too many people are focused on trying to top tick it of like, I think this is the highest value. I ride it up and I overstay my welcome just a little bit too much. I ride it. It shows some weakness. I get out. I'm never attempting to top tick or bottom tick. Same thing with something selling off. I'm not trying to pick the bottom. I want it to bend back around and I want to be a little late to the party. My idea on trading is be a little late to the party and overstay your welcome a little bit too much. You always just want to be slightly lagged. Don't try to predict it because then you're in the scenario of catching a rocket or catching a falling knife. And I think it can very rapidly put you on emotional tilt. So for me, I can sit here and think things are way, way overvalued. But if it keeps going up, I'm just going to stay in it because, like, you don't know. There's no rule on, like, how high it can keep going. So I'm just going to sit and get more money. And then when I see a bit of weakness, okay, I'll lock it in. And then we'll look for kind of the next overall movement in this market. Oh, hi, Mark. Constant tragedy in Texas and a lawsuit. Do you have any thoughts on Live Nation's price sentiment movement? Anything on the chart? So with that one, it's not going to be technical whatsoever. That's a fundamental driver. I don't know and I read about it. I know what's going on with the whole Travis Scott horrific incident where many people were hurt and people even lost their lives down there in Texas. Obviously, our thoughts go out to all of the families impacted there. Crazy situation. But in terms of its impact on Live Nation, I don't know who's legally culpable. If Live Nation is legally culpable, okay, no, that sounds like they're going to get hit with a big fine. But as you guys well know, I am no lawyer. Love Mornings with Mark. What do you think about FUV? FUV. So people were talking about this for a bit, and then it almost seemingly lost people's interest. You're looking for the breakout above 13, and then maybe you'll get a gap fill at 13.65. I don't think the risk is necessarily worth it. Well, it might be, because you could risk 12, which is 65 cents, and then you have a potential $1. So that's 100 to 60. 50 to 30, 25 to 50. It's like, it's not 2-to-1. It's almost a 2-to-1 risk reward setup. It's okay. But if you're talking about an EV play, I think that's what this is. I think Tesla and Lucid are stronger. Let me get back to Loopring here because this thing is just going bananas. What do you think about Zillow with the recent bad news market crash? Is it a buy? So Zillow, I saw the news, but it's also not this. The housing market, real estate is just not my forte. So the same way where I like tend to stay away from pharmaceuticals just because that's not where my knowledge is at. I kind of feel the same about real estate. I think real estate maybe is a little bit easier to like catch up to speed on. Of like, okay, like for example, I understood why a lot of people were getting into REITs when the world was opening back up. That made a lot of sense to me. But with Zillow, like I read it, I saw the news, I saw the various publications on it. I guess I just don't feel that confident. Like I don't want to tell you bullish or bearish just because it's a fundamental driver, but I don't know. Like with that one, you'd almost probably want to just like, if you have like a real estate friend who, or like someone who sells or just knows more about it, that is just not, I like to stick to the domain of things that I like clearly have knowledge on, and Zillow is just not one of them, or real estate's really not one of them. Can you look at NRQQ? Red Knight, not coming up. NGCA. So this one's coming up. So this is a SPAC play. SPAC play, you just have to wait. It's going to stay at $10. It's going to be priced like that until they basically announce who they're going to be acquiring and bringing to the public market. ARQQ. Oh, ARQQ. Different. I assume, is this another SPAC play? Yeah, it is. A financial conglomerate. Try to fight back, now showing weakness. I would be bearish on it. It got rejected. Now it's looking heavy. Just from a technical perspective, I have no clue what this company actually does. GME, clear push above 220. Like I said, we're watching 225. That seems to be a level that GameStop has reacted to in the past, while AMC is coming into battle at its high right here, 43.01. We're looking for hopefully the test and breakout, and 44.40. So about $1.40 higher is the line in the sand for AMC. GME, it's about, I don't know, what, $3.50. Well, here we go. Here we go. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, grooving. Michelangelo, what do you think about GMIA long term? Love the stream. You know, I am an OG. AMC looking like a loaded pistol. Richie, what's going on? Cootery. I always thought you were a member. What's going on? What do I think about JMIA long term? Don't know enough about it to give like a long term breakdown. When you give a long term breakdown, you have to know the numbers, their debt, their assets, the sector it's in, its price to earnings, and I just don't know that for JMIA. That one was highly discussed a couple months ago. I got that question a lot, but recently I just don't see people talking about it. All right. AMC currently up 3.38% on the day. GME up 3.9% on the day. Hang on. Man, these are looking good. All of a sudden, I'm confused. A lot of... Oh man, someone put Charlie Gasparino in a popcorn outfit. Hilarious. AMC, here we go. GME, here we go. Buckle up, folks. Buckle up. All right, I just wanted to bring up the SPY. People apparently not caring about the SPY today. AMC rocking, GME rocking. What else do we have? It's going to be a good day. You can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. Someone said music. You want some music? We could do this. I'll give you some extra time too. I know it's 11, but this is just too much fun.
The fucking money, it's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hold for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep buying more. You forgot we on the float blind, 2 hours old. Lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Yeah, crayon eating Lambo loving smooth brain, stupid ass. Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. FUD don't mean a thing. Water up a duck's back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding to it blue. Monkey magic coming through. To us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooda. In hell we maybe woulda, but we more zen than the Buddha. The floor 6 figures ain't selling for less. You took on the ape nation and you're fucking with the best. We hold for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggle. Cause we just a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Shout out to the Grillionaires. That song, Show Us the Money, and the other song, To the Moon, both by the Grillionaires. You could check them out. iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Awesome people. I'm very much appreciative that they allow me to use their music. And hey, I love supporting artists that are apes. Clearly, they are obviously apes who go out of their way to make 2 bops such as those. More than excited to play them literally every single day. Gets me going. You know what else is going right now? AMC and GME. They are freaking going. What a day. What a day. AMC, GME looking good. Tesla still looks like it wants to close that gap at 1,208. ANY kind of flirting with its breakout. It hit 745. The breakout's kind of around 760. The market SPYs, Qs, IWM really not doing much right now. But I do see that our favorites are in some sort of squabble. Liz Clayman right here. Where was this? Right here. So Adam Aaron was just saying, okay, we have this, questions, listeners, good stuff. Then Liz, democratizing investing, making individual shareholders feel like owners. Warren Buffett started it years ago. Now CEO Adam picking up the mantle. And then, of course, sorry, Charlie has to hop into it right away. Too many of the AMC apes are picking up this mantle by luring the unsuspecting into a promised short squeeze that never materializes. If you like AMC or CEO Adam, by all means buy the stock, but be wary of the stock manipulation. So he's something. He's obviously something. Okay, I know other people do it. I'm not even saying he's right here luring unsuspecting into the promise of a short squeeze. I've seen it. I've listened to other creators promise you that it has to happen. I do my best to be as explicitly clear as like I can be. It's not promised. Like, I get it. Other people out there, like, you have your favorite, like, Twitter twatters, you have your favorite Redditors, give me upvotes, give me likes, or your YouTubers, give me views, look, it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Nothing ever has to happen in the stock market. I don't care if you're talking, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as guaranteed in the market. It just does not happen. People should not be promising it, and I don't know. They do it, and they're doing it to the detriment of the community. All they care about is growing their social media. They want those likes, those upvotes, those views, and they just want to be adored by people because they're like, oh, I'll just confirm their bias because people like to have their bias confirmed. I need to make this explicitly clear to how many ever thousands of people are listening right now. Nothing is guaranteed. This is all a bet. This is all a bet. You could think the odds are high or low. I'm taking the bet. My money is on the line. I'm in AMC. I'm in GME. I'm putting my money on the line because I like the risk reward of the situation. I like symbolically what it stands for. There's a myriad of reasons of why I personally have my own money in this play. But to think that something has to happen, it's erroneous, and it's being stated by people who literally don't know about the market. It's bad. And then when people say things like that, and to a certain extent, it's embarrassing because Charles Gasparino and people within that cohort, they go out of their way to debunk and point out the worst arguments of the apes, and it's coming from apes who don't know what they're talking about. And that's why I'm very particular about the semantics of like, okay, are we talking about dark pools? Are we talking about market internalizers? Are we talking about off exchange? Things like that. It is very important to be accurate because then it makes it way more difficult for people such as, sorry, Charlie, to like attack us. Because instead, he's never going to argue against our good arguments. He's going to take the weakest ones and explain that on national media and then kind of like make fun of us. And it like I said, it's detrimental to the movement. So with it, to be very, very clear, I'm in AMC, I'm in GME, but nothing is guaranteed. There's always risk. There's always reward. You have to measure out what is appropriate for you. I see a lot of people talking about AMD. Is that one ripping? AMD is ripping. Whoa. What happened to AMD? Wow. AMD is cruising right now. I called this one out months ago, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna get in. I got in at 110 and it came down to 104, and I was like, why did I do that? But that's one that's in the like public, like this brokerage, it's in that portfolio. So I think it's up there from, you could see whenever I got it. I think it shows you the date. I don't know. AMD, AMC. Do you think it's just, that's the trick? It's just anything that starts with an AM? Are there other, or ANY? Oh, these are all very similar. Are we on to something? How's Amazon? Nope. Okay, never mind. My theory's disproven. I thought all the AM-based stocks were moving today, but Amazon screwed that up. AM. What other AMs do we have? I don't know. Well, that theory quickly fell apart. What else do we have? Hey, Matt, recently started looking at crypto gaming currencies. Thoughts on ENJ and SAND, meta plays, who leads the space? Appreciate you always. I know a little bit about ENJ just because it does come into the world of NFTs, and I like it, but I like other NFT plays more. But I don't know anything about SAND. But if you're looking just for these like generic utility plays, I mean, Ethereum is a strong one. Solana is a strong one. Cardano is a strong one. Right now, Loopring's going nuts with its like attachment to GameStop. Just stronger plays, in my opinion. Who would win, 1 silverback gorilla or 6 Mike Tysons with brass knuckles? Probably 6 Mike Tysons with brass knuckles. Wait, are we talking about Mike Tyson now or Mike Tyson when he was like in his young 20s? So now might be a little difficult. Well, no, he's still kind of in shape. I'm viewing it as Mike Tyson from his like prime. How long until there's an article on you adding AM stock to your watch list? Long time watcher, first time messaging. Just to be clear, I'm only here for relationship advice. What's going on with Cardano? What's going on with Cardano is a whole bunch of freaking nothing recently. At least it's back above $2. Hex is getting its teeth kicked in, but I'm still holding it. Cardano, we're just waiting. Patience, I think, will pay on Cardano. It's just going to take time, but that's how I viewed almost all of my crypto anyway. It's just a multi-year, potentially multi-decade investment. Can we hit 43.90 on AMC and hold over? Would be really nice. It would be nice, but we have about $1 to go to like a nice breakout and hold level. Zillow's Zestimate algorithm put them in bad shape. You just can't give a value on a home if you've never been in it. Zillow taking a lost 7K houses is less than 0.01% of the market. Also check out REAX, Matt. I told you about it 2 months ago. Thoughts. REAX. So it sounds like you know more about the company, but I'm more than happy to give like a quick technical. It's starting to get some momentum, and like you want to see if this can carry up to 290. And if it does, well, maybe you might get back into the world of this gap fill, the real brokerage. But what is this? Oh, wait, it was a split, a stock split. So for whatever reason, they decided to do a split. Strange for a $6 stock. You don't really commonly see that. That's wonky. And they did another split? Wait. They did a split and then they undid the split? That's weird. You would want to look. That's really, really strange. Really strange. Satama Inu, a lot more people asking me about that one. So if you think it's some sort of social driven thing, I could definitely say more and more people are bringing up Satama. Thanks for all the time you give us, Matt. What are your thoughts on SBEA with the Black Rifle Coffee merger with recent announcement and going public? So that's just another SPAC play, Black Rifle Coffee. I don't like, you're going to have to look into, is it a good business or not? To my understanding, the margins in the world of coffee are pretty tight from the little bit I researched on it. I know Black Rifle Coffee has a pretty devout, sizable following, so I find that to be interesting, but I just don't know if the world of coffee is a good business. It's just you have to look at the margins, you have to look at its growth, and right now, just not even specific. I'm not picking on Black Rifle Coffee. I'm more so talking about SPACs themselves were really, really hot last year, and they've kind of fallen out of favor. So in the year of 2020, every single SPAC play was just ripping, not so much anymore. So just that methodology of hitting the public market, like I said, it is falling a bit out of favor. It could obviously come back, but you just don't see the same strong reaction you did last calendar year as you do this year. But I don't know. I want to be a bit more positive on it just because, to my understanding, I believe it's a veteran owned and run business. So I'm kind of supportive of that. But you have to look into the fundamentals. You have to. But also, just because something's veteran owned, that doesn't necessarily translate to a better revenue or anything like that. Well, it actually might. Never mind. I take that back. It definitely could, because people are they hear that and they're like, oh, cool, I'll buy from you instead. So actually, I think it could convert to being a better for their revenue. So I do take that back. Is AMC barcoding? No, that's called it's a bullish pennant consolidation. It's a bull. It's not barcoding. That's going to be more boring and longer. This was a rip that consolidated. People are buying. This is bullish. The chart you're seeing right now on AMC and GME both are pretty bullish. I look at that to be more akin to a bullish pennant. Accumulation. All right, any not making it at 745. 724, AMC, GME, Tesla, flat, IWM, weird Qs, slightly down, SPY, slightly down, Loop Ring, $1.77, Cardano back above 3. Oh, Solana's having a good one. I'm a fan of Solana. Saitama is releasing Saitama Mask this Saturday at 7 p.m. in Vegas. Now let's slap Sndl and Tilray side by side. What's that all about? James, that's they're gonna move similarly because they're both Marinara plays. It would almost be more weird. Yeah. I mean, it's people are just putting money into the sector. This makes complete sense. I still like Tilray better. Tilray's up 11%, Sndl's up 7%. I just think Tilray is less risky of a bet if you're playing the Marinara world. But yeah, this is just investment into that whole sector, so it makes sense that they look similar. FB is using AMD chips in their data centers. Yeah, interesting. That explains more because obviously Facebook has a lot of data centers, so they have probably quite a few needs to fulfill. That makes sense. That's why data centers, data processing, cloud computing, that world, that's where my background is from, and it's going absolutely nowhere. Amazon's AWS, Microsoft Azure, huge, like all just that cloud computing, and then the upstream from that would be things like NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, crazy stuff. And I just, from a technology standpoint, not going anywhere, especially now, even with you like throwing crypto into the mix for mining, you need chips to do that as well. Man, AMD, NVIDIA. There's a reason why Pelosi is crushing this play. There's definitely a reason why she has murdered this NVIDIA play. Surprised she's not in on the AMD one. Who knows? Maybe we'll find that out in the future. It'll be the classic, oops, like forgot to tell you. If AMC confirms a dividend, you all better have your airtight spacesuits ready. That's true if they did announce it, but they're not going to. AMC dividend confirmed. I don't think that's, I'll double check it, but I would be incredibly surprised. Like, it would jaw dropping if they announced it. No, it's not confirmed. So I don't know. Actually, who just said that? I kind of want to boot you just for like spreading false information. Why do I feel confident they're not going to have a dividend? Because Adam Aaron in the last, like you can hear his own words in the last earnings announcement of that, like, the business is just far away from doing it. Why are they far away from doing it? Because they're still in debt. If they were going to give money to its shareholders, why do that when you could just pay off your own debt? It is in rare circumstances that a company has debt and is also willing to pay a dividend. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. They need to take care of their debt that's mainly due in 2026 before a dividend's even a consideration of theirs. And that's exactly what Adam Aaron has said. That is literally what he said in the last earnings announcement of dividend. It's a thing that's going to be considered, but it's very much far off in the horizon. It's not anything in like the next handful of quarters. NFT free dividend? I don't even know what that would be. An NFT dividend is a completely different thing. That's completely different thing. I don't even know what an NFT dividend would look like. Like, I guess what you just get an NFT for being an owner, maybe, and then that trades on a market. That's a whole different can of worms than like a new one, or I should say a typical dividend. Seems something good earnings come out and the stock price goes down. Why is that? Seems sometimes because maybe it wasn't good enough. Earnings are all about expectations. Something positive can come out, but if the market expected even more, well, you miss on expectations. It's all about market's expectations, not the pure magnitude of what's said or what's reported. It's all relative to what did the market expect. What do I think about Ethereum Classic? I think Ethereum is way better than Ethereum Classic. It's speculation in conjunction with GME talks. Yeah, see, that's the same thing. We know Adam Aronoff previously on national TV has said that he's reached out to GameStop. It didn't sound like they were already masterminding some like great plan to be together, but like we know that they've been actively speaking with each other, or at least they have spoke at least once. So maybe we'll get some sort of development on that, but we have to wait. We have to wait. DNN, how to play from a technical. DNN, isn't this a uranium or like a mining thing? I mean, it's from a technical perspective, it's at resistance right now, and this resistance is all the way back from 2011. So I think you kind of missed your opportunity on it. I don't know what you would risk, because like buying at resistance, it's really risky. You want to buy at support, and you're buying at the opposite point of when you would want to. But mining, and specifically uranium, has been doing very, very well lately. AMC just tagged 44, GME almost tagging 224. Both of them are coming to that breakout level I've been mentioning all morning. AMC's is 44.40, 44.50, and GME's is basically 225. We're getting close, getting very, very close to a noteworthy breakout right here. Look at this. We're coming up to the breakout level, which would be this wedge that started all the way back in mid-June. Right here is exactly what we're watching. And then GME, 225-ish is just kind of the top of this. Previously, we've hit 230. We're just trying to get out of like all of this junk from June and then kind of again in late August. We're just trying to get on the top side of that. I see our Lord and Savior Loopring has touched your heart. We are having a party this Wednesday with some killer fruit punch. Hope to see you there. Moon Gang Ape. What's going on? Hola, amigo. Love the stream. Question: when transferring shares from to another broker, do your shares carry gains or losses during the transfer window? To the moon. I think you're thinking about it wrong. Like you're literally transferring an asset that you own. Let's say you bought a stock XYZ. Let's say you bought a share at $10 and it runs up and you transfer and the stock's currently trading at, I don't know, 25. And your new brokerage might say you got it at 25, but does that matter to you like at all? You know you spent 10. And when it comes to you paying your taxes, also it's going to be obvious that you gained $15. When a brokerage is giving you your loss and your gain and your P&L, that's just for the point of UI and UX and for you to know quickly where you're at. It has nothing to do with actual like gains. It's not like they came into your pocket and took another $15. You're like literally just transferring where an asset is held. And I think people are getting confused by that. And I can see why it is obviously on the surface level a bit confusing. But for example, if you buy a home for whatever value and then like Redfin or Zillow tells you that you bought more, you just shrug your shoulders and say, okay, like I don't care, because you know how much you spent, you know how much came out of your bank account to buy it. So if someone tells you you bought more, you bought it for less, like it just doesn't matter whatsoever. But also with that being said, that's why when you do a transfer, they usually let you edit it. So like I understand the advantage of wanting to know like what you're up or down. So that's why they give you the option to edit the price, so you could edit it to your original average cost, just so you know if you're up or down. But whenever you transfer, it's not like you ever gain or lose money. You're literally just saying, okay, the shares that I own, instead of living in A, you now live in B. It has nothing to do with like more or less money. Eugene becoming an astronaut. Shout out. I appreciate that. CVM is biotech stock that is fighting back after being destroyed. Give me your analysis. I'm in after the collapse, hoping for a short squeeze. CVM, is it being shorted? It has a 20% short interest. Utilization is a little bit low at 75%. It is a low float stock. It has some interesting numbers, but you're telling me it's a biotech stock that got hit. So like that's not generally a good situation. Like why? It sounds like it's sold off not because of shorts, but because something like bad happened to it fundamentally. Strong work past the Korans. All right, we're coming up to that level on both of these. AMC is looking good. 44.30ish. We're cruising. Folks, if you haven't already, just to quickly help me out, if you could destroy that like button, let's just get some more people in here to watch these things go absolutely to the moon. And then if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Liking, subscribing are completely free. It just helps me out with the algorithm. I appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you. Man, we're getting close. We're getting close to that level. Here's AMC. Here's the look on the daily, just so everyone has a better... Here, let me delete some of this stuff just so you can better see where we're at. Right here, we're getting real close. Like I said, 44.40, 44.50. We're currently trading at 44.30, so about 20 more cents to go, and then things can get exciting. Max, I just wanted to let everyone know I'm really good at pretending to be good at managing imaginary football players. That's all. Stonks to the moon. At an average cost of 44, Counselor is back in the green. Thanks, Apes. Holding for the next group. Counselor Murray, what's going on? I hope you're still crushing your ETH. What really matters is the information your brokerage sends to the IRS matches that you actually paid for securities for your tax returns. Exactly. Ooh, breakout. Ding, ding, ding. Breakout alert. Everyone, hey, if you're in your office right now and you're barely listening to me, please understand these stocks are breaking out. This is not dress rehearsal. This is a real space announcement. Quit whatever you're doing. Tell your manager to shove it. You have stocks to watch. Sorry, I just had to get that announcement out to all the corporate workers who listen to me. Non-financial opinion of exercising 45 call 11.19 if it goes in the money. I mean, you're just getting a fill at 45. Like, are you comfortable with owning AMC at 45? That's up to you, Isaac. Here we go. The breakout is holding. GME not far behind whatsoever, hitting 224. 224. What else do we have? I love you, Matt. The real ape Kohrs. Hey, Matt, your thoughts on EVGO and VLTA? VLTA, very quickly. Gap up, that goes red. That's usually not good in a short-term frame. EVGO, same thing. When something gaps up and goes red, the market's just not accepting the price that ever happened from that happened post or pre-market. That's typically not, in the short time frame, a good situation. Matt, your AMD is killing it. Yeah, so just so you know, I'm trying to get everything transferred over to public, and then when I do that, you guys can see what I'm in. So if you want to sign up for public, it's free to sign up. You get free stock when you do it, and you're avoiding market makers when you do trades. Like you're basically helping keep money out of people like Ken Griffin's pocket. This is pinned to the top of chat. And also, if you just go to public.com/Matt Kohrs, that's how you sign up. And when you do so, like I said, it is free. But from there, you can see what is like currently in that portfolio. If you see it, one of the things that's obviously going to be missing is my GME, but that's because my GME lives in Webull. And as I expressed, I'm having a very tough time actually getting it transferred out. But what's actually in my public right now? Public. AMC, Prague, DraftKings, AMD, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Disney, Shopify, and the S&P 500, with my biggest position by far being AMC. By far. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Of course, I wish. I mean, with a day like this, I wish I had, I don't know, more money out of my account, my bank account, and put it into AMD. But hey, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right, AMC, we are holding this level. We're holding above that 44.50. That is nice. That is nice. Is share lending automatically turned off in public? No, but you can easily turn it off. Is public USA only? Correct. Correct. I'm not the most familiar with international brokerages just because I've never used them. You are going to be like Meet Kevin soon. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll take it as one. I mean, he's a very successful creator. He's a smart guy. I've had the privilege to do a couple of videos with him here and there. I'm hanging in there, bought more AMC today. Got up, told my boss to shove it. I'm watching stocks and he smiled and he said, me too. Is public in the UK? No. Public is for US. This is so much fun. Ames. Ooh, there we go. 225 GME. Moving. Moving. Oh, man. These things. These things right there. GME perfectly tapped 225. Key psychological level, key technical level. We're looking for some enthusiasm above that. Do I think it happens? Yes, I do. Why? Well, AMC and GME, they tend to move together. AMC got its breakout. It's holding. Money's continuing to flow in. I don't see it being deterred. I think just this excitement continues, and I think both are going to continue. But let's sit back and watch it play out. It's moving, it's grooving. Pushing. AMC just hit an intraday high of 44.89, while GME hit 225 flat. GME is currently up 5% on the day, while AMC is up 7.3% on the day. We are crushing it. Obviously, a lot of enthusiasm going into the AMC earnings announcement. You wonder, is it just unbridled enthusiasm, or does someone know something that we don't? We don't. Let me check out the options market. AMC. What's the options market saying? So 2x the amount of calls have been bought today instead of puts. 2x. A lot of people betting on the... Let's see what the biggest bets of the day were. Oh, whoa. This is interesting. What times? A 10:50 and 11:05. 10:50. Right here. 10:50. Check this out. Okay, this is disgusting. So at 10:50, right where my cursor is, someone bought, how much is this? $164,000 worth of 43 calls for this Friday. And then 15 minutes later at 11:05, someone bought 138,000 of the 42s for this Friday. So both of these are calls, about $300,000 in total between 42 and 43 for this Friday. They did it right in here, and look what happened next. It just started ripping. And also, and then at 11:20, it's like 15 minutes and then another 15 minutes, they spent another 134,000 on the 38th for this Friday. So basically 38, 42, 43, someone spent over $400,000 between 10:50 and 11:20. That is basically saying AMC up, and away. Shit, that's a lot of money. That's crazy. Someone just said Pelosi doing work. Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Solana looking good. Loop ring recaptured $1.80. Sheeb at 56. Bitcoin up to 66,000. Bitcoin also kind of doing a thing. Bitcoin. Ethereum, man, talk about money making opportunity today. Ethereum looking good. Loop ring, Bitcoin, AMC, GME, AMD. Lots of opportunity. Check your Twitter replies. Former UFC champ, well wishes to apes, more to follow. That's sick. I'll have to check that out. Thank you. An employee told me to shove it. Thanks, Mark. What's going on, Mike? Do you prefer using Fidelity or Public? I have an account on both. So what's nice about Fidelity is you could directly route. So if you want to route to IEX, you pick the route to IEX. Like you pick where it goes. While Public, you can look this up on their website. You do not have to take my word for it. They don't deal with market makers. But with that being said, you can't directly route. Like you're still taking, I guess, it's both of these are cutting down on off exchange trading, particularly in market makers. But with Fidelity, you go out of your way to route it, while Public already has that system already built in. So Public's a little bit easier, but Fidelity gives you a little bit more specific control. So it's like whatever matters to you. Public does not have options trading, which if you're an options trader, you need to know that. But both of them, when you're coming to the world of equities, has free trading. You're going to be like buff 24/7 soon. Thanks for unifying all apes. Calm, cool, collected. Yeah, I get so excited. Like just to this community. I mean, if you look at my size, I'm very, very proud about my YouTube following. I had a very tough go of it for my first year. I just was not getting anywhere. And now, if you look at live streaming numbers, depending on what's going on, it's crazy that this community right here, what you're actively listening to, the Moon Gang, there are many days out of the week that we are the biggest finance-based live stream, which is absolutely insane. There was entire timeframes, May and June, where right here, that no one even came close. No, we were competitive with some of just legitimate mainstream media at certain points in time. And even right now, when things settled down and things were less volatile and people were oh, okay, they weren't following it day to day, still right here. That's so insane, because when it's based on, I look at it as a percentage thing of there's people who are exponentially larger than me, who they just, I guess when they live stream, sometimes those numbers aren't there. And then the difference to me is okay, I get that they're bigger, but what don't they have? And what we have here, the apes, Ape Nation, Moon Gang, it's just such an incredibly passionate bunch. And the representation of how many people are particularly truly involved in this fight for market fairness, for market transparency. That's one of the coolest things to me. It's just thousands and thousands of people day over day, and then millions of people in totality who are fighting for more healthy, less fragile, fair market system. And to see those numbers, like, it's just insane. I think it's so cool. Matt, what does break even price mean? So break even comes into play on the day of your expiration for your options. I'm assuming you're talking about options. That's the price you need the equity to be at on the day of expiration. If you wait all the way until then for you to be break even, to not make money, to not lose money, for you to literally break even. Before that date, though, that's not necessarily indicative of you being in profit or out of profit. The break even price comes into play on the day of expiration. You could be below the break-even price, but if you're way before the expiration date, if the stock's moving in your like favor, in a positive manner to you, calls or puts, you could be in profit before that. So break-even price comes into play the day of expiration. That's where you need to not make money, but to not lose money. Could shorts throw in the towel before year end just to take the loss as a write-off? Just curious if it would mitigate their losses. It wouldn't mitigate their losses. The losses would be based on like wherever they get out, but I'm sure there is a tax advantage of where they would or wouldn't want to get out potentially. Someone said stop loss hunting. I mean, right here, we've seen this action. I guess the reason I'm not like losing my mind right now over 3 red bars is because it's exactly that. It's 3 red bars. AMC's up 5% on the day. GME's up 3.5% on the day. AMC commonly breaks out and does not hold, and then it comes back down. I am surprised it's overshot by 40 cents. Like that had like a lot of momentum to it. But this is what AMC does. It breaks above resistance, comes back down, and usually has to settle and then make another attempt or a third attempt or something along those lines. It's rare. And we've been watching this equity now for 10 months, 11 months. It is very rare for AMC to break above something, hold, and continue. When it comes to these key technical levels, and this is a massive technical level, this is where we're at, folks. It got rejected at the literal wedge from June. Like, talking about important levels, like, this is it. Like, you're seeing one of the most important ones we've seen on AMC. Am I at all surprised that we got smacked there and it needs to base and then hopefully retest it and rip through it? Not at all. Not at all. This is exactly how AMC moves. Not financial advice. This was my first call option in July. It was 40. Call on Lucid for December 17 currently. If I sell, I would make a profit of 615. Should I sell, wait, or exercise? By the way, I was asking because I learned by doing. So Sean, you would wait if you think Lucid is going to continue higher. That's up to you and your confidence in the play. You would sell if you want the profits. You would exercise if you want to convert your option into stock. But to do so, you need to have the equity, the capital in your account to do the conversion. You'd have to be able to buy 100 shares per contract at whatever the strike price is, which I think you said is 40. So that means you need $4,000 per contract you have if you want to exercise. So exercising gives you the stock, selling gives you the profit, and then waiting is obviously waiting. When buying extra toasted Cheez-Its, would it ever make sense to buy the normal size box, or should you always go straight to the family size? There's very few things that I feel like I get emotional about and get ranting and start yelling and get passionate about. But the fact that there's people out there who don't buy the family size box of Cheez-Its is insane. I'm not a child. I'm not a 3-year-old toddler. Like, I don't need a normal box, when we all know a family size box is like what a normal adult would actually eat. It's dumb. The family size, they should get rid of that and make it a normal box. And then the size below that, they should say, oh, sorry that you're a toddler with a small stomach and can't eat a normal amount of Cheez-Its in a sitting. That's insane. It's the amount of letters I've written to Cheez-Its about this exact issue blows my mind. And for a while, they didn't respond. Like for many, many letters, they did not respond. And then a couple months ago, they finally responded and they just said, please stop talking to us. Like, please stop writing us these letters. But I don't know. It's a silly business decision, and the division that they're causing within the culinary world, it just makes no sense. I've thought a lot about it, as you can tell. And I don't know why they do this. Whoever first made the boxing sizes, it's probably the least creative, lowest amount of imagination or just even understanding of their product ever. Whoever made that call did not understand the product. And I've argued that. And like I said, I've gotten one response from Cheez-Its, and they said, like, please stop. We will get law enforcement involved if you keep writing us. And that's where it's at. Someone just said goldfish is better than Cheez-Its. I appreciate your opinion, but you're wrong. Like, people are allowed to have opinions. I'm not against people having opinions, but there are incorrect opinions out there, hence this being one of them. To say something such as goldfish is better than Cheez-Its. Goldfish are good. I like goldfish. I am not a goldfish hater by any means. But to say that they're better than Cheez-Its, it almost makes me wonder, have you ever eaten Cheez-Its? Someone just said insta ban. No, we're not going to ban them, but ballsy. And it's just proof. It is proof that some people's opinions are wrong. I just don't get it. And people are out there like, we all have opinions. Like, we're all entitled to it. We're all equally right. No, there's actually wrong opinions out there. Yo, man, I have $300 to spend and I want to buy AMC. What's the best play on options this week? A little expensive. I don't know. You're going into it with not a good mindset. You're like, I have all this money. You're trying to make it quick on like a lotto play, and that's pure luck. So if you want to do that, if you're into a lotto play, hey man, have at it. Like, I hope you crush it. But I just want to make sure your like mindset is a good mindset to engage in the market before you do this. Remember, if you're playing the weeklies, that's high risk, high reward, just because you don't have much time and theta is going to eat you alive and you need the volatility to continue in your favor. There's various things you have to consider in this situation. Goldfish are fun. Sitting next to an empty, normal-sized box of Cheez-Its is a pure embarrassment and regret. What's up with the duck tattoo mod guy? We're not at it yet. He said he'll get the tattoo at 6,900, and I said 6,969. So we still have about 300 to go. Am I streaming all day? No, but I'm trying to give you an extra hour because tomorrow I can't do Power Hour because I'm doing that thing with Charles Payne up in New York where we talk about this. So I'm giving you all the time. I'm trying to keep it all fair. What are you on about? Kohrs water cracker is where it's at. F mature cheddar crackers miners eat Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its in a bean and cheese burrito is bussin'. Hey, Maddie, I sent you a case of Cheez-Its. They tried delivering yesterday and it was returned. What do we do? Thanks for all the aim. Oh, thanks for the gift card. I don't know. I'll have to figure out what's going on with the P.O. box there, Christina. I'll check that out and I'll get back to you. Thanks, Matt. Slap it, flip it. Wait, Jackie. Slap it, flip it, rub it down the like button. Classic. The mod's like, he's like, please just stop the stream. He's like, please. He's like, end it now. AMC looking good. Just took in that technical breather. Taking a technical breather, but pushing back. Remember, it's about, I'll redraw this one. Let me drag this up. 4440, 4450, something like that. Roughly this region. Roughly this. Have you seen the show Invincible? I have not. But I am invincible because according to the hot chip challenge, if you last an hour, you become invincible. And I live stream the entire hour of me eating that chip. So I haven't seen the show Invincible, but I am proud to report that I am invincible. Ain't nervous, brand me daddy. This is so wildly inappropriate. I love it. Can you look at Gush? What's going on with oil? Playing that oil play. Ripping. It's about to break out to a new all-time high. Is that because oil's coming back? Oil's coming back with vengeance. It ripped, took a breather, and OPEC, its allies, Putin, everyone involved is going to apparently send oil to kingdom come. As oil goes higher and higher, think about those implications. Don't just take that as a factoid of like, oh, that kid that talks about ducks is telling me oil looks like it's going to go higher. Think about what that means. Think about the industries it impacts. I would strongly argue as oil goes higher and higher and higher, that actually strengthens the argument for EV. So such as Lucid, Tesla, with oil high, that lowers the point of price parity between EV and common gasoline / diesel vehicles, strengthening the thesis for EV. So there, and that's just one thing. Like, I mean, oil going high has many, many implications, but that's just an example of one you could think about. Matt is looking more delicious than Cheez-It. So anyway, Nick, about Gush, I think it just keeps going higher because oil is looking strong. What are we at? Boom boom candle. We had some boom boom candles earlier today, right before 11. I would argue is the main boom boom candle. People are talking about DWAC. Is DWAC on the move? Whoa. Well, what happened there? Is there an announcement? DWAC. Let me see. Latest. What's going on with DWAC? A Trump roundtable discussion tonight involving DWAC. What else do we have? I think it's just because of maybe people are thinking that this is, and it could be positive of whatever comes out of this roundtable. That's the first thing I'm seeing on Twitter about DWAC. Is there anything here? Any DWAC? Not seeing anything from Benzinga on such a matter, but this is starting to go. GME starting to go. Everything's just going, folks. It's just a freaking green day. Everything's ripping to kingdom come. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Where's Lucid at? Lucid just below 45, Prague 350, Bitcoin 66, Ethereum 47.75. Wow. Everything's ripping. I have no DWAC right now, just so everyone is fully aware. I have AMC, I have GME, I have AMD, long on all of those, no DWAC position. I just like to be as transparent as I can because when you're talking about it and when there's people watching, I don't want there to be confusion about what my bias is. Right now, DWAC, I'm literally looking at it from a completely non-biased position. How can we top the hot chip challenge? I don't know. I'll have to think about whatever like the next thing is. We'll have to think about how that all goes. I thought Matt had a put on DWAC. I got out of that last week. Do you still have your Prague position? Yes, I am still, as of today, November 8th, long on Prague. And I really don't have any... I don't know why I would get out of that in the near term. Obviously, I have the options that expire in 2 weeks, so that is the situation. But my stock, my equity of Prague holding. Did you watch Trey's trip clip? The video lasted like 3 minutes. You, the man, Matt, stayed through the whole stream. Thanks for your commitment to the community. I saw that he did it. I didn't watch the video, but I heard that he did not last. I mean, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Like, he didn't even hit the first one. Unless he clipped it up. Like I said, I didn't see it, but I don't think he lasted for an hour. I guess it was hot. It was hot. It was hot. It was hot. I guess he's less susceptible to peer pressure. My organs were screaming, but everyone's like, you have to do it in an hour. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just very susceptible to peer pressure. Yeah, well, he didn't overreact like you. I don't think I overreacted. Braden. Oh, I sat here for an hour. Do you know what Braden, do you know what overreact means? Like, at all? One mat, 2 chips. The 5 hot chip challenge. What would that like do to your organs? That like it could like the pain I felt in my stomach. Granted, my stomach wasn't coated. I had nothing going on there. But geez Louise. What else do we have? Oh, I didn't kick him. I just don't think he understands what words mean. But that happens. Hey, we're here to bring everyone out. Just cut off a finger. Is earnings after hours? Yep. And I'll be streaming it here. So 5 p.m. East Coast time, 5 p.m. ET is AMC. So I'll be streaming Power Hour from 3 to 4. We'll take a little break. And then like 10, 15 minutes before the earnings, we'll do a whole new stream exclusively for the earnings. So we're going to do 3 separate unique streams today. Response to Lou. I had no idea. I didn't know Lou was still like a person who talked about this stuff. Didn't Lou say like months ago that he was done talking about AMC? I like truly have not heard that name in months. Happy birthday. Thank you, Thomas. Matt, you should do the milk crate challenge. Since you're invincible, you float over them. Happy birthday. I should do that one. I feel like that's kind of it's kind of like falling, like it was a big TikTok trend. I gotta, maybe whatever the next one is. He wants all big YouTubers to go full blackout during the squeeze. What? Seriously? Okay. So you're saying you guys want what reasoning is that? Seriously? He wants all? I can't laugh because I don't know if that's true. I'm just reading this. So if what I'm being told is true, like I said, I mean, people always distort things on social media, so I don't know if these are actually his words. Like I said, I didn't even know. I haven't heard his name in quite a while. So you're saying when it's in like the insanity of it, when things are going crazy and people like are asking questions like, why is it being halted? What does this mean? He just wants no one to talk about it at all. I feel like that's such an insane thing that I feel like I must be missing something. Like I see everyone saying he's saying Lou said that. I need to watch the video because there's no way that was it of just like, hey, it's going nuts. Everyone, there has to be some sort of reasoning. Like there's no way someone would just say, be like, hey, when it's going crazy, everyone should go dark. I have to watch it. That like, it just, something's going on. Oh, he's meaning that YouTube will black out. Well, that's a different story. Like this is what I'm saying. This is where it gets weird with social media is like, everyone's like, no, he means this. He means that. Like, I just have to watch the video myself. I can't fairly comment on someone saying or not saying something, but I can tell you this, whatever the reasoning is, I stream. I stream Monday to Friday, unless something weird comes up or if I have an appointment or some interview or something to do. This is what I do. I stream the market. I explain what's going on. I cover the news. I'm a financial entertainer, a financial educator, a financial news broadcaster. I've never ever heard of someone who talks about news saying, okay, when the news gets crazy, we're not going to cover it. This is what I do. I cover financial news. So whatever it is, my point is I'm not going to do that, to be very specifically clear, because this is what I do. I cover financial news, and AMC doing something is obviously news. Matt, watch the video, get a better idea. I will. That's what I'm saying, is like, I to comment on other people's videos, you have to see the video, because like it's just coming in from people's comments about it, but I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it. He probably meant blackout drunk, you dingus. Matt, I'm late to the party. Can you give me a quick overview of what's happening today with AMC? Yeah, AMC is currently up 6.4%. People are very excited as we head into the earnings announcement after the market closes today. Technical breakout of the level we're at right now, 44.40, 44.50. It's a nice breakout on this right here. Look at this pennant. We're looking for the breakout and the follow through. So it's at it. We want to get on top of it. We want to close on top of it, ideally on higher than normal volume. We want to get on the north side of this. And then the next test from here is going to be 48.40, so about $4 above where we're at right now. And then from there, we're watching just below 53. These are the major like daily levels, but of course you're going to have intraday levels. But we're in the breakout zone. You're a Pico influencer. Gosh dang it. I am a Pico influencer. I would have a better reception. I'm not saying I would, but I would have at least a better reception to it if someone called all Pico influencers to stop streaming. I probably wouldn't do it, but I would at least consider it longer, because I'm like, oh, I'm a Pico influencer. John. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, John. What a nice guy. Yeah, dingus. Oh. Matt, when routing through Fidelity, where do I route to? Whatever exchange you want to route to. I'm a fan of IEX, but NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, they're all fine. They're all lit exchanges. He doesn't want misinformation spread during the squeeze. But, I mean, what's the information? Like, we're just watching it. I mean, I don't tell anyone to buy or sell. I don't know how to make this more clear. I'm assuming the misinformation would respond to like, oh, shorts covered this or that. First of all, in the event of the squeeze, as it's occurring, you don't know if it's FOMO buying. You don't know if it's a gamma squeeze. You don't know if it's a shorts covering. You don't know. It's just buying is buying. You do not know till 2 days after the fact. So anyone that's telling you, hey, like the shorts covered, look how much it's up. It's all an assumption. Like I'm telling you that now. We don't even have to wait for the day of the squeeze for me to tell you that. We know you can only find out at best, at earliest 2 days after the event. In real time, buying is buying. Buying to create a position, buying because of a gamma squeeze, buying to cover a short position, all buying looks the same. Buying is just another green bar. There's no way to delineate between those three forms of buying. In terms of like the actual buy and sell signals of when you should get in and get out, on a personal basis, I'm not telling anyone when to get in. I'm not telling anyone when to get out. Do what is best for you. If you have a certain price target, if you have an idea of when you could pay your mortgage, pay off your kid's school, if you have I don't know, if you want to do a trailing stop loss, if you want to wait till 2 days after the fact and see that the short's covered, which is my technique, I get out when the short's covered. When I have proof that the short's covered, that's when I get out. You do not need to wait to the event of insanity to know that that's going to happen. I'm already telling you that's my plan. But that's because it's my plan, that doesn't mean it's your plan. We don't all have the same plan here, and that's perfectly fine. If you have whatever it is, if you want to be in this for a certain amount of time, if you have a certain price target, if you want to scale out at various levels, or if you just want to wait and see what happens and see how crazy this gets, that's a completely another option. I'm not telling you what to do, and no one should tell you what to do, especially all these ding-dongs on social media. And that's coming from a ding-dong on social media who has two thumbs and admits I should not be telling you when to buy or sell. Freaking this guy right here. And that's the same with everyone. I see people trying to explain a price target of like, oh, it's going to go to value X on AMC or GME. And it's comical as they fumble their way through math. They just they come up with some insane explanations of, okay, I think it could go here because of this, here because of this. And then if you look at the Volkswagen squeeze from back like over a decade ago, this one did this. They're just saying things like they're barely putting together cohesive English sentences based on like little hints of truth and a lot of conjecture. So with that being said, do what's best for you. Do not listen to social media of when you want to buy or sell. You know who you're in charge of? You're in charge of yourself, and you're in charge of your family. Do what you think is best. Do not listen to some like random source that might know more than you, might not know more than you. All they did was go out of their way to write something on Reddit, put something on Twitter, or upload a video to YouTube. A lot of the times, that's exclusively the difference. My plan, when the duck flies south for the winter, I have a position in Piton entered at 87 and dropped so quickly past my 81 stop limit. If it were you, would you hodl or get out? Piton, so I know they didn't do the best on earnings recently. The world going back to normal right now is not good for Peloton. Unless they somehow come up with some big agreement with some of the major gym chains within the US. Like their guidance isn't the best right now. But also you said you have a stop limit. That's why you should be using a stop market, because if you use a stop limit, your order can get skipped over. So if anyone's trying to have like a fail safe, use a stop market, not a stop limit, just so everyone knows. Tell you to check the free artwork I made and sent you on IG from Matt Tattoo 6. Keep on keeping on. Matt, I appreciate that. I'll have to check that. I just rarely check my Instagram DMs, and I've been still having crazy issues with my Twitter ones. But let me just write that down so I don't forget it. Matt at 2. Matt at 2 6. BTC has a cup and handle at 99.5. Bitcoin hasn't. I think I'm misunderstanding something, Raul. Shout out to Gus. He loves your duck shirts. Shout out Ruben. Shout out Gus. No, I'm a Pico influencer, and so is my wife's BF. All right. Things are looking awesome. It's going to be a great day. AMC currently trading at 44, GME currently trading at 223. Both of them are right below a key breakout level. Here's the plan. It is noon. It is noon o'clock. I will be back at latest at 3 p.m. If things get crazy, I will come back on earlier. I just need to take care of things because, like I said, I'm going to do the town hall with Charles Payne tomorrow. So I do need to take care of some things. The latest I will be back is 3 p.m. If things go haywire, I will do whatever I can to come on earlier. It'll be right here, just so everyone knows. And then we'll stream Power Hour. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back for the earnings announcement. Earnings announcement is 5 p.m. East Coast time, 5 p.m. ET. So literally a little less than 5 hours from right now. I will also be streaming that. So we're going to have 3 independent streams on this channel today, with this being one of them, just so everyone knows the game plan. Tomorrow, I'll be doing the morning stream, which will be a little bit shorter, and then I won't be able to do the afternoon one because I'll be up with Charles. I don't know, maybe maybe I'll do like an Instagram live. I'll figure it out. The Duck Boy always figures it out. But yeah, It's an exciting day. This stuff is nuts. It's a great day in the market. So whatever your midday session is, have a good lunch, have good meetings, good luck trading. I'll be back in a little bit, couple hours. Let's just all get our heads in the game. It's going to be a fun one. But as always, I appreciate the support on your way out. Don't forget to hit the like. It looks like we're almost at 7,100 right now. So the mod, I guess, is going to be getting that tattoo. I think that's absolute hilarity. And that's so funny. That is actually hilarious. Obviously, thank you for the support. Best of luck in the markets from me and Cher. Seriously, we both mean that. I'll catch you in a couple hours. Just whatever it is, whatever you're trading, whatever thing you're trading, crypto, futures, stocks, options, just stick to your trading plan. Come up with your own trading plan. You're in control of your own money. Stick to it. Seriously, whatever your trading plan is, don't just get into something and be like, what should I do now? Just stick to it. Just stick to it. That's all you really need to do. Thank you so much for the support. I'll catch you in a couple hours. Peace out.